this out. I'm tired of the pain. Go away. I'm done with yesterday. so desperate on my knees to break. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for. Like I hold on to every garment, won't surrender, not tonight. The shadow rises and walks through the valley. But I won't let nothing take my heart away. I recognize the powers as they rally. Call the names, I break them one by one and face to face. And I hear the voice of an angel telling me not to lay it down. And I feel the spirit guiding, telling me not to give up. Hold on to every promise I've been praying for. Like I hold on to every garment, won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight. Won't surrender, not tonight.
Got a monster inside of me, you better watch out. If your enemy's a road ahead of full prophecy to be the greatest beast the world has ever seen. I feed him every day like the bones clean. I feed him all the hate and he grows me, and he gets claws real big, pissed off quick. And if you cross him, you might drop dead. Metaphorically, of course, settling the score, never getting bored, loves the blood and gore, always wanting more, freedom from the source. They don't really understand until they feel the force of party. If you start
Okay, hello and welcome back to the day 2 of round 3 of DKRTR street competition here today in Biķernieki in S1A configuration in the stadium. Yesterday we had qualifying, we had some quite spicy runs, quite good scores among them. Mark with 97 points. I still remember that run from yesterday. Today with you, I'm Ed and my brother Red as well.
Hello, hello.
What's up? How do you think, what are we gonna see today?
Oh, I think it's going to be pretty good and consistent battles. You know, most of the scores we have in the top 32 are 70 plus. You know, we have, of course, 28 to 32. That's like 69s and a 68. So, you know, really nice scores as well.
Yes,
for
yes.
us right there. So I feel like at those score ranges is when like the more consistent driving starts appearing, and that of course means for very good tandems and of course some very good battles for us right here as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. We can see that the first drivers of the first groups are already in the server, warming up the tires.
And the tandems are already looking very good right here. I mean, just look at that.
Yeah.
On the doors. Beautiful.
Yeah, that's some nice driving right there. First up, we're gonna see Mark Rourke immediately going up against Iskander, our top qualifying, going to be showing us what's up immediately, warming it up and setting the bar high straight from run 1 of this race.
Exactly. And I mean, I can't wait to see Mark's run. His run in qualifying yesterday, I mean, both runs were simply amazing. So cannot wait to see what happens. And of course, could go either way still, you know, it's tandems, anything can happen. So we'll just have to wait and see how this will end up going as well for us.
Oh yeah, I just can't wait for it to start.
Same here, same here. So, as we warm up, or well, as the drivers warm up and get ready for their first tandems right now. So chat, how are you guys doing? Are you ready for some good tandems? Let's wait and see. There we go. Got our support for Mark in the chat already.
Yeah, from Ian,
Of course.
his
of course.
teammate. Look at that tandem.
Oh, that looks
Doors.
great.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks amazing. That looks amazing.
It looks like they definitely have it down. So we're gonna see some tight tandems today.
And with these low power cars, as we've said before, tandems, they're just, it's so much easier to just stay on the door of the other driver than with, like, say, for example, 800 to 1000 horsepower comp cars, you know?
But this is a really quite fast track, to be honest. So if you manage to gain some ground, it's not really easy to gain ground with them as well.
And there we go. Everyone went back to pits, and we're gonna have our first battle right now. Mark versus
Iskander. So Ireland versus Estonia, 3-2-1, and they're up the line already. Mark in the lead and Iskander in the chase. A nice flick initiation from Mark and Iskander. Very close to him in outer zone 2 already. Closing the gap and right on his doors. You couldn't really tell who qualified first, who qualified 32nd, to be honest, in this round, because this looks like a very beautiful chase from Iskander. A really good lead from Mark as well. Some contact there, door to wall action, no, door to tire action, I'm sorry. As they go through outer zone 7, now coming up to 8. Very nice angle from Mark there. Iskander really close to him, all the way through the zones, now coming up to outer zone 11. Nice angle. Very good chase from Iskander. Beautiful run from both of them.
What
immediately.
What a way to start off the top 32
Oh,
right here.
yeah.
I mean, that is a great lead, of course, by Mark, as expected yesterday from the qualifying, but I mean, that chase by Iskander, look at that, he's staying so close. Unfortunately, right here, he's about to give him a few door taps, and then unfortunately go a bit too hard right here, messes up the line, but I mean, he still
Stays
gets right
in it,
back in there, dives in, and he's right back in on the door, on the next zone already. I mean, great driving by both drivers.
Oh yeah. And the lead from Mark as well. That was some smooth driving as well. I bet you that was another 90 plus lead run.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Right, there we go. We got Iskander on the starting line already. Still waiting for Mark to show up. Oh, and never mind, they're already off the line. Couldn't see one of them. So let's go. Iskander enters with a big flick right there. All right, Mark getting up close, and there we go, right into the pocket, filling out the zone, of course, by Iskander in the lead, and Mark stays close, tucks up right there in that pocket. Oh, beautiful. And there we go, hitting that inside clip as well, about the midway point from Iskander on the lead. Mark diving in on the big outside zones right now. Let's see if he's gonna get to keep up on the fastest part of the track as well. Beautifully done by Iskander. And Mark is right there on the bumper, on the transition, dives. Goes a bit further behind, so not quite on the door, more on the rear tire, but stays right there. Very well done by both drivers.
Wow. Yeah. What a battle to start off this race. Insane driving from both drivers again, in I think both positions. Very nice and smooth lead from Iskander. Unfortunately, didn't quite hit the inside clip though, but look at the mimic and the chase from Mark there. He's just going at exactly the same
Those
speed and angle. Yeah.
He's transitioning right on the bumper as well. A great job.
Beautiful chase.
Look at that. Just barely off the track maybe by Iskander, but still staying right on the edge the whole way. Great runs to start it off right now. A bit less angle right there at the end from Mark, but let's see what the judges are going to have to say. Definitely not an easy decision, I would say, on this one, but do we have the result already? Let's see. Oh,
And it's unanimous for Mark Rourke this time. Congratulations.
There we go. And Mark is going to be moving on to the top 16. So thank you, of course, for Iskander for participating. Great driving. I mean,
Oh yeah,
that did not look 32 run to me. That looked amazing. So hope to see you on the next one as well.
definitely a nail-biter decision to who to give the win to. But next up, it looks like we're gonna have Ihor Lozinski, Zydrunas Pirkevičius. No, that's gonna be yeah, that is gonna be Ihor Lozinski versus Zydrunas Pirkevičius. I just misread it. Ihor is gonna be in the lead, and Zydrunas is gonna be in the chase. A nice initiation from Ihor. Zydrunas closing the gap on him in outer zone 3, now throwing them back around to go into outer zone 4. Nice proximity, very close. Some wheel-to-door action as well as they go around the pizza and from the touch and go. And he's just right there in the pocket throughout the entire zone. Now into outer zone 7 as well, keeping the proximity going, doesn't let off the doors, and takes a little bit of a contact there in outer zone, in the touch and go. And now into outer zone 10, still on the doors, keeping the proximity game up and just keeping the pressure up throughout across the finish line. And wow.
Great runs once again. So in this run, I mean, I think you could see that Zydrunas in the chase, he was staying a bit further back, I feel like, than from the previous battle that we saw, but it was very consistent. So it wasn't as much towards the middle of the door of Ihor, but see, he was staying right there in that same spot the whole time. So very consistent as well. And of course, by Ihor, I mean, look at that inside clip, a great lead as well. A few spots where it did seem like maybe he wavered, maybe there was some contact, you know, we couldn't really tell from the angles that we had right there, but overall, I mean,
right here, it looked like, but it might have been. We don't know.
And here at the end, I feel like there was a little bit of that as well. Right here, coming up, So great runs, definitely some things to look at right there for the judges, but already on the line for the second run. So let's see how it goes, and off the line we go. All right, it's lead and Ihor in the chase, and another big flick initiation right there, a bit of the left foot brake to get it into the zone, fills it out very nicely. Zydrunas staying just a bit further back right there, transitioning before Ihor now, transitioning before Ihor already, and outside zone 5, staying close, a bit closer to that door in the chase on this one, and there we go, transitioning out on the bumper right there, away Ihor in the chase. Beautiful by Zydrunas to fill out that whole zone, right on the line as well there. Touch and go, very nice. And now slowing it down, whoa, Ihor almost starting to pass Zydrunas right there, missing that line, and there we go, across the line we go. So a bit of a mess up, seemed like at the end. So.
Yeah, a little bit of an inside line. Definitely not perfect. It does bring him closer to the lead driver, but it leaves him on a bad line that, very easily can lead to a crash if you don't do something about it.
Yeah, Ihor was definitely aggressive on the transitions. You can see him starting his transitions earlier, almost every single transition that we have right here. So trying to stay close, but looks like at the last transition right there, unfortunately, he couldn't time it quite right. And well, let's see right here. Dives in a little bit too much right there. I mean, still great job.
Did have to brake to correct his error, but managed to fix it and correct the line back to the door. First finish line, and let's see what the judges think about this battle. Another spicy one. We're gonna see a lot of spicy.
Another E36 versus E46 battle as well. So there we go. As we can see, both cars still both the chassis, you know, drivers being able to stay on each other's doors as well. So I mean, there were some talks about one of the cars being faster than the other. I mean,
but after yesterday's runs that we've seen, and the top 2 qualifiers are both E46s, I'm really starting to doubt it. That is just in the hands of the engineer, as you say. But also, it's nice that the way the top 32 bracket is set up, that it lets you immediately see from the first 2 runs what is the overall level of the drivers, because you see the top and the bottom and the middle in the first two races.
Exactly. And there we go. Looks like the results are in, and the winner of this battle
Zydrunas unanimously takes the win. So bad luck for Ihor, but let's see him in the next race. Better luck
Thank you for
next
participating.
time.
Ihor.
Yes.
Of course, Zydrunas, good luck to you in the top 16 as well. But the next battle up already on the start line.
On the start line, it looks like we have Frederick Blokus going against Solomon.
2 black E36s, that looks nice.
Oh yeah, let's see if they can door one another as well. And Frederick initiates already nice. There from chase as they go, and from the transition into outer zone 4, Solomon takes a little bit of an inside symmetry as they're going the inside clip around the pizza coming into outer zone 7. A bit of a half cars gap between them. Coming onto outer zone 10, still close proximity between them. Good on outer zone 11. Nice run overall and contact across the finish line.
All right, we'll have to see what happened right there.
Oh
but
yeah.
An interesting run right there from Solomon in the chase. Seems like he couldn't stay quite consistent. There was quite a bunch of wavering there in the chase by him, so yeah. But let's see what happened there at the end. Was it Frederick's fault right there? Did it even count towards the lap as well? Were they already safely across the finish line?
Well, I think they should have straightened out before that should have happened, and then it would have been okay, but it didn't look like
Until
it was the case.
Here still
Yeah.
pretty good runs,
Yeah.
good runs right there. Bit back from Solomon, and let's see, he gets into the pocket right there, and looks like there's some contact, and yeah, seems like there might have been some contact right there. So
I have
let's
had
see
the
what
same
judge
thing
thinks about
happen. Yeah, I've had the same thing happen.
But now it's time for the second run off the line we go. This time, of course, going to be in the lead, Solomon, and there we go, going in with a handbrake entry, was that? I think, but yeah, right there, filling out the zone nicely. Frederick also staying close, staying, I think, more consistent as well. And there we go, filling out the outside zone 5, more towards the middle from Solomon. Frederick right there, into the touch and go we go. Great job by both drivers, and let's transition. Not as aggressive by Frederick, but still keeping that consistent line going as well by both drivers. All right, into the touch and go. Great job. Oh, very close, right on the bumper right there by Frederick, and trying to get into the bucket on the last outside zone 11. Little braking and contact once again.
Oh.
Same thing happens.
Yeah, that's
Very
the
interesting.
spicy meatball.
All right, so well then. Yeah, let's look at the first part of this run as well, though. So very consistent by both drivers, not seeing a lot of wavering. I think there was more wavering by Solomon when he was in the chase, but I do feel like he was also closer at some points. What do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I think that Solomon is maybe a little faster in that case, then that means would have some issues in the chase if the lead car was a little bit slower. You know, that you can't really keep the throttle at the level that you're used to at when you're just going, not worrying about what speed you go.
Let's see what happens right here. So
Yeah,
contact there straightens out.
yes.
Yeah, so
And then you go right in. Solid.
yeah. So let's see what the judges are gonna have to say about that. Similar situations happening in both runs towards the end right there.
Yeah, that was quite a coincidence.
But yeah, very interesting, very interesting. Very different from our previous battle right there as well. Still, of course, very good driving from both of our drivers right here, but we have the decision right here from Edgar's Frederick. 2 more left from Armands and Ed, and there we go, unanimous for Frederick. Block who's right there. Congratulations on that win.
Yeah.
And there we go, would be interesting to hear.
Maybe not in top 32s.
Alright, alright. Alright, next driver's
Not
up.
really sure. Yeah, next up we're gonna have Juan is going against Kai Adu. Juan's gonna lead and Kai is gonna chase. Is it? Yeah, the label says just haven't been updated yet.
There we go, 2 white E36s this time.
Oh yeah. It's not rigged at all, don't worry.
Great lineups, and there we go.
Yeah, Juan's gonna be in the lead and Kai is gonna be chase. And here are the lights, and up they go already. Juan with a nice flick initiation, going into outer zone 2 already. Kai with a half a car's distance in between them, but now closing it in, putting it right on his doors into outer zone 3. Now they're gonna position 4. Nice on the doors, nice angle matching. He's right there, putting the pressure up right around the pizza as they come bumper to bumper transition just before outer zone 7, and still keeps the proximity up, keeps his tire on the lead driver's doors. Nice through the touch and go coming into outer zone. No, now 10, 11, a little bit of wavering and a little bit of Kai in the chase there, but very solid from both of them. Wow, another great run.
Yeah, great runs right there from both drivers, very consistent, not too much wavering, filling out the zones as well nicely. And there we go, right here, getting a bit closer into the pocket is K, but I think that next transition, after this touch and go right here that we're gonna see, I think that one was quite aggressive this time as well. Look at that,
this,
right
yeah.
on. It was in a beautiful
Millimeters, basically clipped through it. Wow, yeah.
Yeah, great job on that one. All right, so going through the touch and go, and yeah, there we go. Another aggressive transition, getting into that pocket on the outside zone 11. Oh, great job by both drivers. Of course,
Wow.
can't get that
Yeah.
close unless the lead is good enough as well. So good job to both of them. Let's see if we're gonna see who wins this one on the next one. Right now, off the line we go. K in the lead, Juan in the chase, and there we go. Not as big of a flick entry, but filling out that zone very nicely by K in the lead. Juan staying in that pocket a bit further back, but looks like a very close transition. Difficult to tell from this angle, but yeah, right on the door through outside 4 and 5. And looking very, very solid by K in the lead, and Juan right there on that. Beautiful. See, another aggressive transition, not as close, but he does dive in a bit quicker than K did in the chase right there. And through the touch and go we go. Beautiful job. And let's see, can he get close enough? Yes, he can. Pretty much identical from Juan in the chase as it was from K in the lead, but oh, a bit less angle there towards the end. And second run, so ending it off with a bit less angle, I think, in the chase from Juan, but overall very, very close runs.
Yeah, might have been not that it was not enough chase. It might have been just a little bit of an angling going across the finish line, which I don't think was needed there, because it was like nothing to transition into. Probably the judges are looking for them to cross the finish line on the same angle, not to angle up towards the end of it. But yeah, what a run anyways from Juan there. That was like, he knew that he has to put up a banger of a chase run, because Kai's engine is all throughout his lead run in his window. Yeah.
So yeah, more angle put on by K in the lead, and that might have messed up.
Yeah. I just think that might have been unnecessary. Yeah.
And the winner of this battle, Juan versus K, is gonna be Juan from Spain. Congratulations to Juan Jorge's on the win. Unanimous again?
Yeah. A lot of unanimous decisions today, so no split decisions yet. Let's see if any of these next drivers can make the judges fight for it in the booth.
Indeed, and of course, thank you to K as well for participating. Great driving, very solid driving. And yeah, see, as I said before, with like those around 70-point runs, that's where like you start to see way more consistency out of the drivers. And I mean, we're already that in the first battles right here. K qualified 24th, but that was still great driving right there as well. Of course, also in the previous battles, Solomon 25th, Iskander 32nd, but I mean, that driving was great. There,
yeah,
you know?
Exactly. You definitely 32nd in on the qualifying grid, because Iskander definitely put up a hell of a Mark didn't exactly get that one for free, I think.
I mean, there was also a question in the chat earlier, how do we like this track? And I mean, with these scores and with this consistency, I think everyone would have a really, really nice layout.
Yeah.
So yeah, of course, seeing a lot of consistent and flowy driving right there from the drivers, allows for very good tandems, very good and consistent driving as well. What was the call from judges? For which run? Do you mean the run where with the straightening out into the walls? We couldn't hear anything so far.
Both the ones.
No info so far.
No info so far.
If we get any, of course, we'll let you know. But yeah. So there we go. Already have a few of our top 16 battles set. Right there we're gonna have Mark versus Zydrunas. So our top qualifier versus our 17th place qualifier right there. I mean, both still very good drivers. And of course the other one that we have right now, Frederick versus Juan, and that's going to be 8th versus 9th qualifiers. So two high qualifiers going up against each other in top 16 already.
Gonna be fun.
Gonna be very interesting. So there we go. Got the next group in the server practicing. Got that 3-man train going right now.
Did we find the Easter eggs? No, sorry, I wasn't on track between yesterday's quali and today. Yesterday after this, I went to my brother's place, and then today I was working and didn't have time yet.
Yeah, and unfortunately my rig is broken, but I do actually want to go and look for them afterwards now.
Oh yeah.
There's a way to go into like free roam, right? Like with the camera. There should be.
Possibly.
With like the replays. I'm gonna have to do that and look through it, because I am interested.
Yeah, probably you could try the drone mod for that.
Oh yeah.
Good reason to finally try it out.
So yeah, for everybody in the chat, that right there is the map creator, and there's a few Easter eggs added around the map, so should go and look for them as well if you got the time, you know? Let him know if you find them. He's also on the Discord server. And of course, speaking of the Discord server, don't forget to join the Discord server if you want to participate, or if you just want to chat with the people driving, or maybe just, you know, join the practice servers from time to time and drive these E36 and E46 mods that we have right here. And don't forget to follow all of the other social media, of course. Got the Instagram, got the TikTok as well. Of course, this YouTube channel, don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to follow the street class builds that are going to be going on right here currently, of course, with the E36 Compact, trying to get that sorted and ready for the track. But on the Instagram you could already see a teaser for the 2026 season car, an E46.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. And also the E36 beater car as well.
Yeah, the compact. Oh, looks like drivers are back in the pits, so looks like we're going to be continuing our top 32 battles right here. And yes, there we go. We got our drivers out on the track, and who it is.
Yeah, that's going to be Armands Westman, our qualifier from the previous round and top qualifier in this one. Let's see how he does in the lead, and Ritus from Lithuania is going to give him the chase. And there's a bit of a gap between them already in Outer Zone 2, not cleaned up yet, going through Outer Zone 3 now. Good solid transition from Armands in the lead, going through Outer Zone 4. There's still a gap between them, which Ritus now cleans up a little bit, gets it down to half a car's distance between them, now going through Outer Zone 7. Armands still getting quite a bit of an advantage in yeah, pretty much gapped him.
Yeah, what a run right there.
Yeah.
I mean, Armands just running away from Ritus in the lead on this one. Already from the initiation, Armands just getting the jump on him maybe off the line, and Ritus not being able to get back in there. So yeah, let's see, transitioning out to outside zone 4. I mean, great job by Armands in the lead. Ritus in the chase, getting close on this part right here, but looks like he might have checked up a bit afterwards. Couldn't really follow him that close, so let's see. Yeah, not as aggressive on this transition, and seems like Ritus added more angle than Armands in the lead, so could not manage to follow him on this one. But I mean, great job in the lead by Armands. filling out all the zones. Another great run. I mean, one of our highest qualifiers right here was the highest qualifier of the last round. So of course, he was the one who was showing everybody how the track is driven from the very start. And let's see if he can show that in the chase as well. Right here we go off the line. Ritus in the lead, Armands in the chase, and there we go, initiating right on the door already. Great job by Ritus, filling out that outside zones 2 and 3 as well, but Armands right there, staying in the pocket. Very close transition out into outside zone 5, right on that door. Great job. Oh my god, what? That was so good. Right on the door through the inside clip, out into outside zone 7. A bit out of the track goes Ritus with the rear wheels, but Armands stays right there as well. And there we go, touch and go. Slowing down now for outside zones 10 and 11. And great job by both drivers. Oh, a bit less angle from Ritus right there, but Armands gave him a bit of a bump, I think, to get him back in line. And well, over the line we go. And what a chase. What a chase by Armands right there. And yeah, of course, good job by Ritus as well in the lead, staying consistent, staying solid on that line as well.
That was insane right from the initiation. It was... Stop it. Immediately, Armands initiated right into Ritus' doors and then kept the pressure up throughout the entire run. As you see right now, them people are going through outer 7. Didn't let up at all. He didn't have to do it, but he did it anyways.
Yeah, and I mean, through that inside clip right there, that was before right there, it was very, very nice by Ritus, right on that inside clip, but Armands was right on his door immediately. So, let's see, we have the judges' call right here. Moving on to top 16 in this one, it is going to be... Armands Westmanis. Yeah. That was
a unanimous call. Yeah, that was pretty certain already.
Running away in the lead. I mean, that was great job by Armands Westmanis right there. And of course, thank you for participating to Ritus right there, our 29th qualifier. So, of course, a very tough battle to get in your top 32. Thank you as well for participating. Hope to see you in the next one. And all right, we got the next drivers on the line already.
Next up, we're gonna have Ian Johnson from Ireland going up against Markuss from Latvia. Ian is going to be in the lead and Markuss is going to give him chase, and now they're off the line already. We did see a really good qualifying run from Ian yesterday and a bit of a distance right after initiation as they're going through outer zone 2 and 3 right now. Markuss finds the pocket and gets closer to Ian, and as they go through outer zone 5 still keeps the proximity up and exactly the same, keeping mimic and the angle and the transitioning into outer zone 7. Beautiful right on the Ian still staying on the edge of the zone, edge of the line as they go through outer zone 8 and the touch and go, coming into outer zone 10. A nice, oh wow, there he went for the dive bomb, but he pushed a bit too hard, I think.
Yeah, so let's see. Of course, the start of this run, very, very great by Ian, and of course by Markuss, staying a bit further back at the start, but still finds his way into the pocket later on. I mean, right there, going through outer zones 4 and 5, gets into that pocket, and then after that inside clip, look at this transition right on the as
this
well.
Was
look at this. Right there, boom, perfect into outside zone 7. But of course, staying a bit further back now, and let's see what happened with that contact. So going into the touch and go, transitioning, all right, staying close, yeah, very nice here, but looks like he does touch that front wheel of Ian, and looks like he did spin out. So yeah,
but it did like he caught the correct angle but didn't slow down enough.
But we're off the line already for the second run, so this time Markuss is going to be leading Ian in the chase, and there we go, entry right off the bat. Ian staying in that pocket, Markuss filling out that zone nicely into outside zone 3, transitioning over, staying close, a bit of the left foot brake right there from Markuss in the lead, and well, right in the pocket into outside zone 5. Beautiful job by both guys right now into the inside clip. Nicely done, very well filled by both drivers. Another close transition, not as close, but after the transition, Ian is getting right into that pocket once again. And there we go, filling out the outside zone 9. Touch and go. We got 10 and big angle right there by Markuss, but Ian gets right into that part, mimic and perfectly. Bit of a left foot brake and great runs by both drivers and a great transition right in outside zones by Markuss as well.
Oh yeah, that was a great lead run from Markuss. Fantastic to see. Unfortunate for him in the chase run though, but he still put up a decent lead. You can see the skill of the driver. And look at Ian's chase, right on the doors, right up throughout all the way throughout the track. Nice
No
transitions,
wavering at all from
perfectly
Ian.
timed textbook chase run. Very good. He knew that he did have to pressure up, but not like that much.
But that dive right there in the last outside zone, I mean, that is just perfect. And there we go. The judge is going to be joining in for the decision on this one as well. So it looks like we have our decision, and it's going to be unanimous for Markuss right there. So an upset win for Markuss against Ian Johnson. We're going to have the judge join for the decision, and let's see what happened there on that one.
Hi guys, good evening commentators, spectators. So I felt that this requires a bit of explanation. So tough decision for Ian. Thus we deemed the spinning of Markuss in the first run as Ian's mistake because he was off throttle and still slowing down after the outside zone 10, which is after the diesel zone. So on that place you should already be on the throttle and going in the turn towards the OZ11, but he wasn't, and that was not to be expected from the lead driver.
All right, thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So there we go. Great runs right there by both drivers, but unfortunately, yeah, not quite doing what the judges want you to see, braking for a bit too long, and yeah, unfortunately will mess up the chase driver by doing that as well, since they will be expecting you to be on throttle by the time that those diesel zones end. So unfortunate right there for Ian, but great driving by both drivers, and well, let's see what Markuss will have to offer us in the top 16 as well. So yeah, there we go. Thank you to our judges, of course. Thank you for filling us in on what happened on that one. And yeah, let's move on now with the next drivers that we have right here.
Yeah, next up we're gonna have Karolis Bashinskas going up against Gustavs Abela. Karol is gonna be in the lead and Gustav's gonna face qualifying 5th versus 26. As we're waiting for them to get to the line.
And there we go.
Oh, you do remember this livery already.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Ooh, both great looking cars though. E36 and E46. Another battle of the two different chassis on this one.
Oh yeah. These ones are gonna be battling it out against each other all night long. And they're already on the line. Karolis is chase. And as they go, coming up to the starting line, nice flick initiation from Karolis, and Gustav falls way behind and goes on a very tight line to try and catch and get some ground up. Meanwhile, Karolis is putting up a very good lead run, but Gustav's really fighting to keep up with him, struggling to get the angle right, making some improvements going through the inside clip, and but still loses some ground in outer zone 7. And as they come up with outer zone 8, very nice from Karolis there, and getting some ground up again, and bumper to bumper contact, and both shut it down and straighten out before they start up again and go across the finish line. That was another head scratcher.
Yeah. I mean, right off the bat, initiation. You can see Gustav's keep up on that initiation already, having a lot of trouble right there. Karol is filling out all the zones very, very well right there. Our 5th qualifier from yesterday, so definitely expecting a good lead line by him. But Gustav's looking like one of our drivers who, might not have had as much experience in that chase. It is quite daunting as well, especially, of course, in competition when you have to just put up those runs. And yeah, looks like he did impede on the transition right there. Gustavs staying on his angle. Karolis starting to transition and hit rear bumper. So yeah, I feel like I know which way the judge's decision is gonna go, but we'll wait for that, because now we have the second run. Gustavs Abele in the lead right, entering a bit lower on the line, but Karolis right in that pocket right away. And Gustavs starting to straighten out some contact, and both drivers straightening out. Looks like Gustavs straightened out first, and is it a restart? Oh,
interesting.
Looks like it might have just been a restart. All right, well then, let's go for the second run once again. So maybe one of them jumped the light, and all right, off the line we go. So once again, Gustavs Abele in the lead, Karolis in the chase, and beautiful, beautiful entry right there. Right on the door is Karolis, and Gustavs not quite hitting the zones, transitioning out into outside zone 4 right now. Ooh, on the line on that one, beautiful, but Karolis right in that pocket, staying right on the door, inside clip, towards the inside by Gustavs right there, not too bad, and a nice aggressive transition, dives into the pocket yet again. Karolis on the outside zone 7 and outside zone 8 right now. Oh, wavering right there from Karolis in the chase. Hits the touch and go, slowing down, and in last outside zone we go. So there we go, completing the second run by both drivers. But yeah, right there after the outside zone 7, there was a bit of wavering right there from Karolis in the chase. So I'll have to see once again what happened with Gustavs in the lead, which part of that chasing lead caused that. But yeah, I mean, very, very good job by Karolis in the chase. So what do you think, Ed?
Yeah, I think Gustavs did a way better job in for sure. Some missed zones, of course, but that if you can drive to speed advantage. And let's see about that wavering. Yeah,
looks independent.
That looks independent. Doesn't look like Gustavs did anything for it. But what a transition here, just for the outer zone 10 to 11. That was a nice dive bomb to get right on the doors for the very last. Big outer zone.
Okay, we have the judge's decision here already, and yeah, it's gonna be for Karolis Bashinskas. Of course, congratulations on the win. Can't wait to see you in the top 16. Thank you to Gustavs Abele. But yeah, looks like that contact that was caused right there on the previous run, that sealed the deal right there, not allowing for the transition. Of course, remember, in the chase you want to stay close, but in those transitions you back off just a little bit, the other driver go. But enough of that.
Yeah, next up we're gonna have Nikil Bodeka, Canada, Kyryl Koptelets from Ukraine, and a nice flick initiation again, and a bit of a distance developing between them, but Kyryl fixes it before outer zone 3 already, now over to 4. Nice lead line from Nikil there. Kyryl a bit of an inside line, but keeps it in the pocket, wheel right on, going around the pizza, coming into outer zone 7, a bit of a gap between again, but Kyryl it and reduces it to like half a car's length now as they go for the outer zone. And still a bit of a gap between them all the way through outer zone 11, and Kyryl catches up with him right before crossing the finish line. What do you think about this one, Brett?
Well, right off the bat we can see right off the bat we could see that well, Nikil in the lead, starting off with a very solid line, staying out, not getting as close from the beginning, but we could see that later on here towards this part of the run, getting closer on this transition, just cannot seem to catch up in outside zone 7 to the lead driver Nikil. But of course, staying somewhat the same distance, we'll have to see how the other run goes before we get a final decision right there, but not as close as we've seen in the previous run right there from the chase driver. So swapping the positions right now, gonna have the E30 in the lead, the E40 chasing right now. Off the line we go, Kyryl in the lead. A nice entry right there, not too snappy, but gets right on the line. Nikil in the chase, staying a bit further back, and off back. Well,
that's a disconnect.
That is a disconnect right there. Wheels disappear, he flies off the track. Was that
network issue? Wow, I've never seen that one before. Yeah, no, that's I don't know, probably his network issue.
It might just be he might just be a transformer.
See?
Look at this, his wheels are gonna disappear. Boom.
Yeah.
How does that even
And
work?
then he. So
But
I don't
yeah,
know what happened
very
there.
unfortunate. Very unfortunate. So yeah, we have our first run being concluded right there. I'm sorry, our second run being concluded right there by an unfortunate connection error, and we have our judges' decisions, and the
Nikil
winner
Wadekar.
is Nikil Wadekar of this battle right here from Canada. So congratulations to you, Nikil. Unfortunate with the connection issues, but
Yeah, definitely not the way you want to.
yeah, still,
Yeah.
thank you, of course, for participating, and of course, we hope to see you on the next one as well, Kyryl.
Yeah, so now with this, we should be done with the first part of our top 32 battle with the left side of it. We already have our top 16 drivers qualified, and we're gonna come to the next half of the top 32 right now. What do you think about the drivers that already have qualified? How are the battles going to be?
I know exactly what I'm looking at, and that is the number 4 qualifier and the number 20 qualifier going up against each other. Armands Vestmanis and Markuss Mills right there. Can't wait to see that battle. Gonna see some Latvians battling it out. So
Oh,
there
yeah.
we go.
That's going to be a good battle. If you know, you know. We're also going to have Markuss in the first place going against 17th. That's going to be a interesting battle as well. Mark, of course, going to bring the heat as he always does. Also, number 8 versus number 9, Frederick versus Juan is going.
Should
That's
be a
gonna
very
be-
close
yeah.
battle.
Yeah,
That should be a nail biter right there as well.
Karolis versus Nikil Wadekar. That's also going to be one. So all the battles seem to be getting more and more fun. We started with a very intense battle as the first one already. Anything is going to calm down at all. It's only got to get.
And of course, speaking of the Latvian versus Latvian battles, we are going to have one of those coming up right now, as well as the next one with Matīs Slots against Dāvis Rostoks as well. So we're going to have to see how that one goes. I mean, the previous battle that we saw of the number 1 and fire definitely looked very close. So let's hope that our drivers right here are going to be able to provide us with some nice action on these next ones as well.
And if you want to talk about battle after that, it's going to be Ritus Jacobs, Carlos Millers, 15 versus 18 as well, both Latvian drivers. And I do know that they definitely have been in the servers together practicing, so must know each other's driver style as well, and probably heated battle as well.
Yes, indeed, and both of them qualifying quite close to each other. Around, that's probably like, what was it, the 70 points, right? Somewhere mid 70 point lines right there. As
Yeah.
very driving is what you can expect from those guys as well. And of course, up next after that's going to be Ilia Sklipis versus Enk. Oh, can you help me out with that name, please?
I usually just stop right there.
You know
because,
what?
Yeah.
Great idea. Great idea.
That is. Give it the dishonor of being mispronounced by me.
As somebody with a unique name, I know what it's like, you know. So yeah, we're gonna have actually already the next group into the server right there. So, all right, we got a few people on the line right now, or do we already have the next battle actually? Oh, no,
don't know.
more
No,
people
looks
out on
like
the
they're
track.
just-
Yep,
Yeah.
still practicing.
That was a close one though. Almost hit him. All now on you, Mark. Yeah, Ian, unfortunate for you there.
Yeah, unfortunate right there with that contact, but great driving either way. I mean, can't wait to see more of you on the next ones. There we go, seeing some of the drivers going out already. Not as close in that chase right there from the orange car, but still, everybody gotta get comfortable, you know.
Yeah, just chilling, feeling the car out before giving her the beans 100%.
Yeah, you can see already them getting closer as they
Yes.
go through. You know, getting.
Yes, getting the right feel in the hands for how stiff the steering wheel is going to be once the transition. So a bit of a line developing in the practice right now. Drivers lining up for that lead role. Nobody wants to go in the chase. Use the last chances to get some practice in though. Definitely not recommended to be waiting on the line. But yeah, the track is a little bit difficult to run with a lot of at the same time because it crosses over itself at multiple times. And if you initiate, if you go off the starting line at a bad time, then might as well, like just happened. As we see, and the drivers are pushing each other across the line in the practice. There's some pent-up aggression already.
What's up, chat? How are you all doing? How are you liking these battles so far? Getting some great battles on this one. I mean, of course, a few interesting and spicy ones right there as well, you know, with some interesting calls, you know, unfortunate for some of the drivers, but I mean, that is how the battles go sometimes, you know, gotta follow the rules. But yeah, how are you feeling today? How are you liking the battles we got so far? I'm really enjoying the close tandems and everything, you know. Really liking what I'm seeing and hoping to see more of that coming up on these next ones as well. And oh, what was that just now? One of the drivers reversing through the start line. What is going on in practice right now? Jesus. So go. Yeah, sorry if there's any mic cutting out or anything like that. We are trying to understand what the problem is. So yeah, apologies if there's any issues with that. Trying to get that sorted out as well as we commentate. We are on the same microphone, so it is a bit difficult to keep commentating and work on the technical issues as well.
Yeah, we are in the same room, basically facing the same monitor and microphone.
Exactly, but looks like all the drivers are back in the drivers off to the start line. It's going to be Mati Slācis and Dāvis Rostoks right there for this one. E36 versus E46 battle. Then you got first, it's going to be Matis chasing Dāvis. Line we go.
Yeah, let's see what they can do. And Matis with a nice flick initiation. Big gap between them. With not much of angle. And wow, what was that? That was a big mistake. Some big contact. Now going through the track now, much better at... Wow, I just can't speak after that anymore. I don't even know. That was a big mistake in that outer zone too. Still, Muddy's keeping up a very good lead line. Looks like at this point it really doesn't affect him. Davis still trying to catch him and get at least some in for this, but I think that's already an invalid run. What do you think about that?
Well,
Wasn't a good situation for sure.
Yeah, that definitely was not optimal right there. I mean, great though. So let's see on the entry right now, and yeah, seems like he does straighten out. Caught a bit too little angle right there at the start, and then afterwards too much angle on that one. But hey, cleaning up his run later on. Davis getting into that pocket right there, not as close as we've seen some of the other drivers, but hey, keeping a consistent line and staying where he should. Of course, after this transition right here, a bit further back once again, but look at that. By just on the dot right there where he should be. Another great run, of course, by our second top 2 qualifier. Going through outside zone 11. I mean, beautiful lead run right there. Matis, great job. Of course, Davis, you know, one of our lower qualifiers, so trying to get into that competition, trying to get his feet wet with the top 32 battles right here. And on this lead right now, he's gonna have to show what he got. Nice entry, good flick to angle, but straight out on tap. Not quite sure what happened on that one. That was a very good entry, and looks like it is just a restart. It is
Okay.
just a restart. All right. Yeah, because that looked very solid right there from Davis as well. So let's see on this restart what we are gonna see on the next battle. Of course, anything could happen, you know, what we saw right there before with Ian Johnson's battle. Of course, anyone can make a mistake, so let's see what the drivers are gonna be getting up to now on the line, getting ready to go. And we're waiting for the start. Matthijs versus Davis. Oh, both the drivers also want to start right up. Are we not seeing the lights? No, never mind, everything's... So time for the second run. Davis now in the lead. Can he do the same thing he just did? And yes, he can. Great job on the initiation right out on the outside zone. Matthijs in the pocket right away though. Close transition off to outside zone 4 and 5. Keeping a midline right there by Davis. Getting into the zone and adding up more. Great job on the inside clip by both drivers. Let's see, can we get an aggressive transition? Yes, we can. Matthijs getting into the pocket right away on zone 7 and off to outside zone 8. Great job in the lead. Straightening out just a little bit right there to get some more speed and slowing down for outside zones 10 and 11. Great job by both drivers. Matthijs staying in the pocket right there. Good job right there. From Davis as well, of course, in the chase had some issues, but we can see that for the drivers who are qualifying lower, I mean, the lead lines are still very, very solid. Of course, still need more practice and more seat time in the chase, but great lead line by Davis, great chase by Matthijs.
Yeah, completely agree. Not fully filling all the zones there, getting in a 50% amount in some of them, but still a pretty solid lead run, keeping it smooth and steady, not many corrections there. Maybe a little bit lower in some of those zones, but still very good. And look at the chase run from Matthijs as well, right on the doors, all the way throughout the track. Very nice from both of them. Hey, why do you get all the runs where it goes fine and I get the runs where...
Alright, let's switch up. Oh, but before that, we are gonna have our result, Matthijs Lācis versus Davis Rastoks, and it's gonna go to Matthijs Lācis. Congratulations on the win. I'm gonna be moving on to the top 16 right there, and of course in the top 16 also gonna be going up against another lap, because up next we have Ritus Jakobsons and Karolis Milush on the line already. And let's see if we're gonna get another close battle, qualifying number 15 and number 18, so should be good on this one. Ed, take it away.
Yeah, Ritus is going to be in the lead for the first battle, and Karolis is going to be in the chase. Definitely going to be an interesting one. Looks like it's also going to be an E30 battle, so no matter what happens, the best chassis wins. And
as an E36 owner, I do agree.
And let's see what can they do. Ritus, bit of careful navigation, right, going there to outer zone 2, but it looks like dropped one wheel there, but a bit of a gap developed between them. Now cleaned up already, going through outer zone 4. Could be closer from Karolis there in the chase position. Nice line and nice fill of the zones. From Ritus in the lead. Nice angle mimic going through 7, coming up to outer zone 8, still staying close. Gaining speed and diving in for that outer zone. Go wheel to door. Good at the very end. A little bit shaky in the chase at the... A very good run, lead run from Ritus though. Look at this. Might have dropped like a millimeter of the tire there in outer. But overall, a very solid lead run from Ritus.
Yeah, Karolis entering a bit further back, had to cut down on the line and the angle to catch up, but he did, and look at that right there on the clip, staying very close to the door. But aggressive on that transition as well, diving into the pocket on outside zone 7. I mean, great run right there by Giannis and by Ritus, both of our drivers.
Karolis
and Ritus, both of our drivers of this run right here. And by Ritus, great job in the lead, filling out all the zones. All right, switching over. Now Karolis gonna be in the lead, Ritus in the chase. Let's see if we're gonna see something similar, maybe some closer tandems on this next one, or if it's gonna go the way that some of the other ones went. Let's hope not. Let's get on with this one right now. Ritum's entering closer to lower on the angle, but stays right on the door. Some door taps there right there as well, if I could see that correctly. All right, getting aggressive in that chase. Karolis in the lead, filling out all the zones. Very well done outside zones 4 and 5. Ritum's right there on the doors. Door taps right there, gonna leave some tire marks on that one. Okay, outside zone 7, well done by Karolis. Great job in the lead, filling out the zones very well. A bit outside of the zone with one of the wheels on that one, but Ritum's not letting him get away with it either way. Outside zone 11, right on. Further back, but still mimicking the angle, mimicking the line. Job by Ritum's in the chase on this one.
Yeah, that was so close right off the bat, as you see here. Maybe a bit of a distance, and he did have to waver to get proximity, so it wasn't immediate proximity that he did have a pretty significant correction there in outer zone 2 to get it, but he got it. He kept it up all the way throughout the run. As you hear, some tire bumps, definitely. You can see the tire clipping in the door a little bit. Unfortunately, we don't have any that stay on the door.
Yeah.
And look at this as well. Us in the lead, going through the touch and go, and nice dive, exactly the same angle and minimum possible there.
Really enjoying the aggression by Ritum's in this one. On the chase drivers, you know, trying to keep that proximity close.
Stream down, is it?
Are we good? So there we go. Now it's in the judges' hands. I have to see which way this one's gonna go. Yeah, I feel like Karolis in the lead drove way better than he did in the chase. But of course, Ritum's great lead run, very aggressive chase run as well. So now it's gonna be all in the judges' hands with this one.
Yeah, I don't suppose Karolis' chase run was as good, so if it would be my guess, then might be that Ritum takes this. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel like that aggressive chase. I'm seeing you know, whenever I see a chase like that, I always want to see more of it. So I do hope that I'm gonna get to see some more of those.
Let's hope for that. Hell, give it them one more time.
Oh, and we have the decision right here. Ritum's Jacksons wins.
Unanimous for Ritum's. Welcome to top 16. Congratulations for that. And unfortunate for Carlos Millers, good luck in the next round. Thank you for participating, and see you in round 4. Next up, we're gonna have Ilia. Clip is going against Enk. Skill gap supposedly, but
that could be deceiving.
Yeah,
that could be
definitely.
Deceiving.
The first battle of today already proved that it could be very deceiving.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, some of the drivers, they don't really focus that much on the perfect qualifying line, but when it comes to tandems, that is where they really shine.
Yeah, and I guess it does maybe help that in order to semaphore better, you turn off player names, so you don't really care what is the name and the score of the driver who you are going up against right now. It's just a car.
Yeah.
You just chase a car.
The only thing you care about is that there is a door in front of you and it doesn't have enough tire marks.
Exactly, and you're there to fix it.
Well, fixing might not be the right word for that, but what we do have is...
We have Ilia and Enk already coming up to the line. Ilia is, and Enk is gonna give him chase. Gonna be an E36 versus E46 battle again. Ilia from Ukraine and Enk from Mongolia, so an international battle as they go off already. And a flick initiating very close to Ilia is Enk, and cleaning up the lost ground, positioning over and keeping the proximity approximately the same, going through outer zone 4. Very nice lead run from Ilia in the lead. They lost ground completely before the inside clip, transitioning into outer zone 7. Now a little bit of an angle difference, fix it to out 8, still a bit of a shallower angle from there, and an inside line for the transition from outer zone 10 is getting into that pocket across the finish line. A pretty good run with some visible mistakes, but still very good, I think, from both of them. Let's watch it in the replay. Ilia right on the line of the track in his lead run. Henk timing his transitions pretty well to not lose any ground on that, because if you mistime your transitions here, then you're a bit late to get into the zone on time. Do we have a YouTube outage? Is that what's happening?
Not too sure. Oh, seems like it's a YouTube issue.
Oh no.
Oh, that sucks.
Can anybody hear us?
Is anybody out there?
Hello?
Out there?
We're locked in here. Help us.
I'm in YouTube jail.
No.
Jail. Jail. Alright, well, let's keep on commentating this while the runs are going.
Yeah, it's the only thing that we can do because life still goes on.
So, in lead, it's gonna be Henk from Mongolia. Chase is gonna be Ilia from Ukraine. Looks like drivers are ready to go. Lining up, getting right on that line.
Yeah, anxious to start this second part of this battle.
Did you say anxious?
That wasn't on purpose, but yeah, I'll take it.
And there we go, off the line we go. Henk Chase starting off with a snappy initiation, going very fast and right to the tires, but he does not straighten out, keeps it going. Henk in the lead, Ilia staying close in that pocket, not letting him get away. Oh, there was a bit of a proximity right there, but got right back into the pocket on that one. And there we go, very, very close on that inner clip as well, outside zone 7, a bit further from Ilia on that one, but we saw something similar from Henk in the chase as well, getting closer into that outside zone 8 now, touch and go, great job, and a nice dive, there we go, into outside zone 11, stay pocket, mimicking the angle, mimicking speed. Great job by both drivers on this one. Saw a few similar mistakes from drivers, but this on the initiation by Ilia.
I think there was some contact, but I'm not really sure. Yeah. So it's most likely that lead drivers get all the room that they want.
Exactly.
And it is the risk of the chase driver to be next to the lead driver on initiation.
The chase driver should never impede the line of the lead driver, and if I saw that correct, it seemed to me like Henk was using too much of the track at that point as well.
No.
Of course, lead driver has priority, but they cannot use too much of the track.
Yeah. It wasn't on the first flick of the initiation, it was on the last. So he still could correct it with some more throttle and whatnot. But yeah, that was strange for sure. No idea who to give it to.
Yeah, could be the lead chase. Sorry, could be the lead driver messing up the initiation on his own a little bit right there. Could have also been jumping in on that initiation. So we're gonna have to see what the judges see and what they decide. Of course, they got more angles, they have more information than we do, so they will give you the answers very shortly.
Yeah.
And there we go. Looks like this stream works once again for everybody. We should be back. All right. Thank you, YouTube, for allowing us to stay on here for now. We are very graceful. We appreciate it. And we are now waiting for a decision of Henk versus Ilia. We just had a battle where there was probably some contact made at the start of the run, with Ilia being in the lead and Henk in the chase. So we'll have to see which way that goes, which way the judges will call that one.
Let's see. Yeah, I do not remember since the previous run, the last run, was quite eventful and completely erased my memory about it. So luckily I am not a judge here.
Oh yeah. Some of these
Have
calls,
to remember it.
some of these calls also a bit difficult to make. Not easy judging. I mean, starting
Yeah.
right off the bat from the first battle, that already looked very good. Of course, some of the battles with some of the errors in between as well. You know, really understanding who is at fault for which error. That takes some time and effort, and well, unfortunately, at the end of every battle, there can only be one winner. So we'll have to
Yeah.
wait and see who the winner will be for this battle right here.
Getting some messages that YouTube is in certain places. It was fine for a couple seconds and now it's buffering again.
And some people just checked other lives on the Discord and are saying that none of the lives are live.
Aha. Are we also live on Twitch?
No,
No.
but I might be live on a scooter going to the store and grabbing myself something to eat. If this is the case.
Someone's DDoSing YouTube. Yeah. They hate our tournament so much that they decided to attack the YouTube headquarters. Take it down at the core.
And we have a call, Ilia versus Enk. Who is it gonna be?
Let's see.
Oh,
And
and
it's
it's
a
a
first
split
split decision. Yeah, Ed takes the win with 2 votes against 1 vote that goes to Ilia. So that's an interesting one. Judges definitely took their sweet time to get to the bottom of this battle.
Never mind, it's unanimous.
Never mind, it's unanimous. So it was a
choice was
misclick.
changed. Yes.
Ah. Well, still, it means they deliberated even more. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Or it was a misclick. But yeah, definitely a tough call. You would need to look at the replays and the side-by-sides and at the telemetry, who went off, who was on throttle, who was off throttle, contacts. But never mind all that, because next we're gonna have Giannis Clocks, who looks like is going to be doing a buy run, because Daniel Kvasha is supposed to chase for him there, and Giannis Clocks is already off, and with a nice flick initiation going through, filling it halfway through, just having some fun, enjoying that he doesn't getting into 16 because it's automatically granted for him because Daniel just didn't. I wonder what happened there. Nice from the inside clip. Now transitioning over into outer zone 7, right on the line. Coming into outer zone 8, keeping up some nice for the time to go. And transitioning over for outer zone 10, keeping it smooth. In the zone, across the finish line. And immediately advances on.
The fastest judging decision we've seen all day.
Yeah. Can't disagree with that, but you really can't. If you would speedrun this, then you would press the start and stop buttons at the very same. And that is the third quarter of our top 16 locked in already, and now we're gonna have the server start, and we're gonna have the last group of top 32 with some more spicy runs. We're gonna see Andris Kleinberg is going against Edvinas. Be a really interesting battle. Andris always keeps the distance to the minimum in his chase runs, so his runs are really good to watch. Edvinas is also a really good driver. I've met him in battles myself. Also Luis Trevino going against Declan Danelli. That's going to be good. Vava Susanna versus Karolis. And Edvinas Kodaba versus Gundars. That's going to be fun. What is going on the YouTube sections in the systems?
We are wondering what we should do in this. That is our official statement.
Yeah. Okay. Right. I don't really I am not prepared to deal with this.
YouTube usually doesn't do stuff like that.
Yeah, never.
2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection.
We need Giannis momentum.exe to check the telemetry. Yeah, probably that would be interesting. I know that. So I guess they just have to look into it because it just came out, and probably they need to understand the software, and they could get some more insights than they are already getting. Because I believe the judges already are using a stack that they are very much accustomed to throughout all of these races, and still getting all the needed telemetry. But yeah, it really depends. I am definitely not the one to talk about it. I can only guess.
Oh yeah. But I mean, knowing how many tools we Assetto follow all this stuff, it's great to see something new appear as well.
Yeah,
you know?
definitely. The idea is very good. I really liked it.
Oh yeah.
I haven't had the time to try it out myself, and it would be interesting to see if it works well with VR as well.
Yeah.
We are both VR drivers.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, I mean, not just for judging, for drivers as well. Just to practice the line. And is there a big collision?
Oh.
Looks
Yeah.
like a few cars are gonna have to be written off. Let's hope we can repair them before the top 32 battles.
We might see some 5-minute timeout calls right before battle. And so we have some interesting ones. As you see, they have to wait for the solo driver to cross the line, so it's way more polite basically to do tandems, not to go solo. Another live stream.
Great idea. Oh, we might try Twitch before top 16. Okay. Yeah. Looks like a good switch in this
Yeah,
position.
a switch to Twitch, if you may. Haven't been there for a while as well, for a few months. And we have Andris Kleinberg's already coming up line. And I was about to say, where is Edvinas? And he pops up right there in the chase. So let's see who takes the win for this one. Andris initiating into out 2. A bit of the gap between them developing again, and Venus cleans it up a little bit before Outers on 3 transitioning over and going wide is on to get Outers on 4. Edvinas now much closer to Andris' doors as they go around the pizza for the inside clip. Half a car's length distance between them as they over to a nice, almost a bumper-to-bumper transition, but Edvinas loses some ground in that as through the go with a bit of a gap again. Nice transition timings and nice angle match, but really lacking a little bit of proximity there is Edvinas. As we know, Andris going to try to get door everybody. So if you go against him, you know you have to be really aggressive in the chase doors. So what do you think about this run?
Overall, great job by both drivers. Of course, from Andris expected nothing less, you know, one of our
Yes.
top qualifiers right here. But from Edvinas as well, you know, qualified 30th, and I mean, not getting as much proximity as the other drivers, but still staying very consistent and not wavering too much. So can definitely see that he does have it in him to get some of those closer runs as well, you know. As I've said before, it's just all about that CPM and the practice as well right there. So great job from Edvinas in the chase. We'll have to see what goes on in the other run. See if Andris is going to leave some tire marks on Edvinas' doors as well. And let's see, a nice initiation by Edvinas right there. Andris diving into the pocket immediately. staying right there in the proximity, transitioning out into outer zone 4, and a bit on the middle of that one for Edvinas. Andres right there into the, staying on the door. Beautiful throughout the inside clip from both drivers. Let's see, aggressive transition right there and diving into the door on outside zone 7. All right, a bit less Andres going into outside zone 8, and the touch and go a bit far deeper into that one. Edwin goes, but out into outside zone 11. Great job mimicking angle by Andres right there. Good job by both drivers. Edvinas, very solid lead run, staying towards the middle of some of those zones, but still hitting the zones, and very good job on, look at, right on the line on.
Yeah.
Great job on that one. And then right here, as we slow down a bit for the pizza, we can see Andres getting right into the door, basically just door to door through that one.
Yeah,
And
Andres does
nice
what Andres does, exactly what you expect from him. Really good chase front. Interesting end of that outer, see some wavering from. So that's where Andres gave him a little bit of space to correct that up. But as you see here for the last zones, completely wheel to door, not leaving a paper thin gap even between them. That was a great chase run from Andres.
And now it's all in the judges' hands from this point on. We have a decision on see who is going to be advancing on to the top 16. Is it going to be Andres or Edvinas? And it is unanimous again. Kleinberg is on to the top 16. Congratulations, Edvinas. Thank you for participating. Great job on that lead. And of course, in the chase, keeping it nice and consistent. So can't wait to see more of you on the next round, round 4 as well. Thank you both drivers. Let's move on.
Yeah, if you're paying attention to the chat, we have developed a bit of a team. Norris, Andres.
When Andres drives, he has a magnetic force to the lead of the car. Yeah, I could see that. That also explains why his angle like a bit very difficult to stay on the same angle if you have a literal magnet card.
Yeah, but okay, let's continue with the next battle. We're gonna have Luis Trevino from Spain going against Declan Donnelly from Ireland. So Luis versus Declan. Luis in the lead, Declan in the chase. As they run up in a massive angle from Luis there in the lead position. Doesn't really leave much space for Declan, but he immediately gains all the ground up. And as they both with massive angle go out, there's 4 and 5 already. Good proximity from Declan in the chase position. A lovely lead from Luis as well. I love the angle. This is a really beautiful battle from both of them. A bit of a gap developing between them again, but still the angle and speed and line matching is very good from Declan there. Oh, and looks it a little bit and ends it in the tire wall. And unfortunately, Declan cannot avoid him and also grabs into him.
What
So,
a run.
Yeah, this run started just insanely good. I really throwing in the lead, and I love the fact Declan
And
to throw exactly the same
coming up
angle
now,
in the chase.
my favorite zone from these camera angles.
Oh,
Look at
yeah.
that inside clip, and then this the aggression in the beautiful.
Yeah.
Of course, unfortunately, go further back on this outside zone 7 into outside zone 8, and then looks like in the lead, Lewis just overcooked it a little bit, and yeah, goes in.
Yeah, that was completely independent.
That's going to be Lewis at fault for that one. So he's going to have to stay right on that door and hope to see mishap from Declan. But let's see if Declan can make it clean across the track right now, initiating with an right on the line and over just keeping it nice and smooth. All right, and right on the door is Lewis right there. He has to stay right on that door and just hope that Declan does not drive correctly by the end of the track. But hey, Declan doing exactly the opposite. Beautifully right on that inside clip outside zone 7, staying towards the middle of but staying consistently in the middle right on the track. All right, touch and go. Let's transition in. Let's not overcook it, and overcook it in the chase, but manages to save it. A bit more angle on the chase in the end, and a 3 to end it off right there. A bit of a door tap as well. What a run right there. Of course, few errors from Declan, but made it across the finish line safely, and well, a nice 360 to send it off, and I think he knows who the win is going to on this.
Yeah, you can definitely see guys eat angle every single morning with no milk.
Just pizza.
Just pizza and angle pizza. Because look at these runs. They're maybe not they're maybe not filling all the zones all the time, but they're always putting up some big angle runs, maybe taking a bit of an inside line. But was that a backy in the chase?
That was very close to being a backy right there in the last zone in the chase.
I've seen a backy. It went, and congratulations, Declan Donnelly, for the. Unfortunately, that's going to be all she wrote for this race for Lewis. Unfortunate, better luck in the next race, and thank you for running. And next up, we're going to continue with a battle between Vava Sezon and Mar. That's one.
Oh yeah, Vava yesterday getting only one run since his PC crashed on the first run, and still putting up a very, very solid run on that one, getting the 6th qualifying spot with 87 points in just one run. I mean, great job by him. Of course, we have Markuss, who was he the person that was talking about not having a handbrake, or am I misremembering it now? No, I think it was somebody else. Either way, we got a battle coming up right here. Ukraine versus Latvia, if I do remember correctly, right? Yes, indeed. Starting off in the lead line for right there, and in the chase for Maris, both E36s, both ready for a nice chase and lead. And let's go. Off the line we go.
That's going to be a fun race indeed. And a nice flick initiation for Vava there, and right on the edge of it, but look at a very well timed transition and very far outside the track for as they're going already. Very nice proximity and everything. A bit of a gap between them in outer 7. Vava right on the edge of the track, flirting with it as well. Again, transitioning over for outer zone 10. A big dive from Markuss. Doesn't hit him though. Manages to perfectly hit the right angle and the right speed.
So right here we can see very aggressive from Markuss in the chase, but he does overcook it a little bit. He doesn't leave the room for the transition right here. Check this out. And a little bit of contact right there. He improves on position and causes Vava to go a bit outside zone. Exactly. So Markuss trying to stay very aggressive with very, very close positions on quite how he wanted, and here as well on this transition, not leaving quite enough room, so had to back off a bit too much, so has to get back into that pocket after the trying to stay aggressive, overcooking it a bit much, but on this one right there, that beautiful on outside 10 and 11. So great job by both drivers. Vava, great line. Markuss trying to get into that pocket, unfortunately overcooking it a bit, but still a very, very nice and solid chase from our 27th qualifier.
Yeah, you couldn't even tell. That was beautiful. Very aggressive, and the more aggressive.
And getting ready for the second run right now. Looks like to go off the line. Markuss getting a bit closer to the line. And let's see what we got right here. Off the line we go. All right, Markuss in the lead. Flick right there in the chase as well, making it into the pocket by the time first outside zones end, and on the transition staying a bit further back, and all right, Markuss overcooking it just a bit too far into outside zone 4, but cleans it up outside zone 5. So does Vava right there, mimicking, and beautiful transition, aggressive into outside zone 7. All right, into the pocket he goes. Black screen, we're back once again. Side of the outside zone 8, touch and go, and can he dive in as well? Staying further back is Vava actually in that chase, so playing a bit more safe, probably thinking that, you know, what happened before with him impeding, with Markuss impeding the transition, in the first run, maybe thinking that Vava is definitely one of the drivers that can stay right on the door the whole way through the track. So what do you think? Was it more of a strategic decision, or could he just not catch up to Markuss?
I think Vava can always one. Two, I think that was probably more strategic decision, because that still was definitely not an inactive chase. Interesting that the black screen is also there in the replay. We include that in the judging. But nice transition here, not an aggressive, very methodical and surgical about it. Is just very precise in the speed matching, not to crash into the lead driver. Not too aggressive about the dive bombs that he does, but he still manages to keep the proximity really good. And timings of the transitions is what matters, not to an inch, because for these ones, just small, tiny mistakes matter a lot for losing a lot of ground.
Oh yeah, if you're driving the same cars, especially with street car powers, this is not any pro cars with 800 powers. Mistime the transition, it is a bit more difficult back in. But right now, we are gonna have the decision coming in right here. Vava Sezonov versus Markuss Zuklis, and Vava Sezonov. And congratulations to Vava, moving on to top 16. Fortunately for Markuss, gonna be ending his run today with that one, but that was some great runs right there. Really glad to see some more aggressive driving, just really happy to see those aggressive transitions. Unfortunately not working out this time, but keep at it. Hope to see more of you in round 4.
Yeah, and now we're battle of our top 32. We're gonna Edvinas Kudaba going against Gundars Gute, our 11th versus 22nd qualifier, which is also going to be an E36 versus E46. A lot of them today, Edvinas from Switzerland and Gundars from Edvinas starting lead position. They're going side to side with a big flank initiation, and Gundars close on proximity right off the edge. Now reeling into Edvinas' door to keep the proximity up. Yeah, might be, but still struggles to keep the angle as a transition to outer zone 7. There is like a 2-car gap already, very shallow on the line to try and even keep up. But Edvinas is just ripping through the track at the 10. Well, Gundars is basically just completely shutting it down. Can't keep up at all. What do you think about this? This is really interesting.
Gundars having a lot of trouble in the chase from the back. Right here, shallowing out the angle, just cannot keep up with the E30s. I can't tell. He's just way too fast for him to keep up.
Yeah.
And here, I think that might have been a double initiation. Another initiation. I think he's straightened right there in the chase as well. But of course, we're gonna see what the judges say about that. I mean, great run by Edwin. Great angle. Getting into the zones, solid, beautiful. I mean, look at that. No wavering, no nothing, but very difficult.
Little bit of wavering there. Rest of smooth.
But I don't know, maybe Gundars having some difficulties.
Yeah.
That is very unfortunate, Let's see what he can do in the lead as well. So our 22nd qualifier, might be one of the people who is more focused on qualifying line and not as in the tandems. So let's see what we got. Off the line we go, a bit less angle, staying into the middle of the zone and mimicking the angle and the line very well, not getting close, doesn't have to risk too much, but still showing that he can definitely keep it nice and consistent in that chase. And Gundars right there on the inside clip fills that one out beautifully. Let's see, can we get a nice aggressive transition? Yes, dive by Edvinas. Oh, straighten up just a bit to keep that proximity. And there we go, very beautiful. Touch and go, some more distance, diving in outside zone 10 and contact. Edvinas and Gundars having some contact between themselves. Looks like Gundars might break a bit too much. Might have picked up a bit on the angle, but we'll have to see who is going to be at fault for that. So, of course, starting off with this one, what do you think?
It looked like he almost parked it at the end, but this far in the run, you can definitely in the lead position when he does the speed, where he is the one who sets the rule. So nice here, a bit of a wavering for outer zone 7 to get more angle out of, just to get on a better line for outer zone 8 now here. I'm coming up to 9, hitting the touch of the very well, and
he was basically at 90 degrees to the track, so that is very difficult to recover from. So I do believe that might have been on the side, and looks like we have the decision already. So looks like the judges also know what they want to go for. And indeed,
that's going to be Edvinas spot in top 16. So this is our bracket for now. Heated battles in the top 16 as well. We're going to have Markuss going against Zydrunas Petkeviču, Frederick Blokus going against Juan, Armands Westman is going against Markuss Mills, Karolis Bašinskas going against Nikil Vadekar, Matis Slācis going against Ritus Jakobsons battle, Enk going against Giannis Kloks, and Andris Klenbergs going against Declan Donnelly and Edvinas Vava. That's gonna be a lot of fun, I tell you that.
Oh yeah, definitely. So from our higher qualifiers, almost all of them making it out of the top 32, so definitely seeing that stay consistent with the results. Now, of course, seeing a few upsets here and there, you know, we had the Ilia versus Enk upset, the number 7 qualifier versus the number 6. We also had one of the upsets very early on that we had, which was, of course, it was Ian Johnson versus Markuss Mills right there as well. So definitely seeing some upsets, seeing, of course, mostly the higher qualified drivers win on this one, but anything can happen later on in the top 15. So
yeah, gonna be interesting. We did see a lot of crashes, especially at the end. That tire wall can be tricky. That dive bomb for outer zone 10 can be very deceitful. But yeah, let's see what happens in top 16 when we in about 10 to 15 minutes. So don't go anywhere too far. Yourselves a drink, yourselves a snack, and let's see you for the top 16.
If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands Westman. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands Westman. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 4's top qualifier and points leader, Armands. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands.
And welcome back to the top 16. Looks like driver. That's going to be an interesting first half of top 16. We're going to see a lot of very heated battles from some drivers that already have put up heat in their previous top 32 battles already. In the first half of the grid, seeing already Mark, the top qualifier for this race. Looks like he's already coming up to the line together with Zydrunas, who's going to be the other part of this battle. Going in the chase position in this first stint of the race. Mark in the lead from Ireland with a nice flick initiative going in. And Zydrunas immediately in outer zone 2 and smooth and steady through outer zone 3 and perfectly timed transition from Zydrunas there. Mark still putting up a stellar run in the lead position, but just paints a whole picture on Mark's doors right there. But a little bit of a gap developing between them and the outer zone 7. I wonder what happened there, which is corrected again pretty fast, but it's very good on correcting mistakes and getting back on the door immediately, as we see that all the way through outer zones 10, 11. He's right there on Mark's doors with his front wheel. What do you think about this one?
I really like the initiation in the immediate jump into that pocket right there, diving right in right off the bat, trying to stay as close as he can. Of course, a very great job in the lead by Mark, as expected, you know, and our number 7 board in the qualifying. And look at this transition right here into outer zone 7. Loses a bit of ground in Zydrunas right there, backs it off the angle a bit, and boom, right back into that pocket. And now leaving some more room for the last transition. Weird transition here, but again, dives right in there, same angle, same speed, just keeps the proximity going. Great job by Zydrunas in the chase, and of course Mark in the lead. Now we're going to be swapping the Mark staying further back, and let's see what we can get in the second run. Right, initiation, some left foot brake, getting himself into that zone, getting all the way outside the zone. By the end of it is Zydrunas in the lead, Mark in chase, nice proximity, and oh, going a bit aggressive right there, just a bit in front of Zydrunas on that. Still keeps it in line, beautiful right on. Go is Mark on the door of Zydrunas into outside zone 7 and dives right in, not leaving any room like in the... Great job from the chase driver, and in the lead perfectly. Outer clip, beautiful touch and go, and there we go, transition zones. Great job by both drivers. Mark pocket, maybe a bit less the angle towards the end by both of our drivers on this one.
Yeah, I think it's a completely different chasing there, because at some points it does look like he's going wheel to wheel, like he's aiming. That looks very interesting, but looks very good in the cameras there. So the cars look like they're closer each other with their bumpers, and the angle mimic just so much better like this. Very nice in from Zydrunas. Good run from him. Nice transition over there, smooth and happy for outer zone 11. But the chase from Mark, man, that was really good. Solid.
So yeah, now it's all in the judges' hands with this one. Let's see who gets the win. Is it going to be Mark or Zydrunas? So I think that we might be able to resolve our mic issue that we were having, so let us know please in the chat as well if we're going to have any more issues with that. Hopefully it's resolved now, so let's see.
Yeah, let's hope for the best.
And there we go. Oh, looks like we're having another look at the replay right here with Mark in the lead. So let's see what the judges want to see on this one. I mean, great job right off the bat on the initiation on this one. Not really seeing any contact anywhere as well, unlike some of the previous battles that we've had today. But I mean, looking very nice and clean by both drivers.
This track is just made for these cars.
Oh yeah.
It definitely feels like it makes them shine. Good job from Zydrunas here. He's really in the chase position, sticking right to the door of Mark.
And we have our decision. All right, sliding left for Mark, right for Zydrunas. Let's see what the judges have to say, and there we go.
Unanimous for Mark. Congratulations with being our first driver who gets into top 8. Bad luck for Zydrunas this time, but I hope we see you back in the next race. Thank you for participating.
Great driving all around.
Yeah, exactly. That was definitely not an easy decision. But next up, we're gonna see a battle between Frederick Blokus and Juan Jorges, our 8th and 9 qualifiers. So
Should be a close one.
yeah, should be a really close one. And as you know, everybody who is in an ATDT livery right there rips with these E36s. So let's see. Frederick is going to be in the lead for the first run, and Juan's going to give him chase. Nice flick initiation for Frederick. Big angle and not a lot of proximity between them immediately already. Good angle matching from Juan in the chase there. Nice and snappy transition on big angle throughout outer zone 4 from Frederick. As they come around the pizza, about to hit the touch and go. Perfect mimicking of angle and line from Juan there in the chase. Door-to-door action in outer zone 7 as they go into outer zone 8. Juan is right there in the pocket, and a dive for outer zone 10. Did lose some ground before it, but it's all gained up now. It's all corrected. Across the finish line they go.
A nice run by both drivers on this one, and we can see off the bat right there, Juan maybe had some problems with the initiation, but figures that out right away, gets nice and cozy into that pocket, and not much wavering after that. at the beginning, but looking very, very solid right there as well. Of course, from Frederick in the lead, getting all of the zones, hitting that inside clip as well. A nice and aggressive transition right there, diving into that pocket and outside zone 7. I mean, great job by both drivers on this one, keeping nice, fluid and consistent, exactly what we and the judges want to see.
Yeah, could have been a bit closer just there before outer zone 10, so he wouldn't have to do such a big dive to get the proximity going for the last big outer zone, but nevertheless, let's see them swapped around.
And there we go, Juan in the lead, Frederick in the chase. Let's see what we're going to see for the second one. Nice flick initiation, and Frederick trying to get on the door right away. A bit less angle, but getting that proximity locked in on that outer zone 3, transitioning out into outside zone 4. And there we go, beautiful, right on the edge of the track by Juan and Frederick in that pocket as well. A bit less angle now, but keeping the proximity solid, nice and solid out through the inside clip as well. All right, outside zone 7, not as aggressive of a transition, so can't really dive in as much, but still as the zone goes on, as the turn goes on, Frederick getting into that pocket as well, touch and go. And let's slow it down a bit, outside zone 10, beautiful, great, matching the angle, matching the line as well. Great job by both drivers, a bit less angle from Frederick in the chase, I would say, but still overall very, very solid by both drivers. So what do you think?
Yeah, for some reason I want to describe this run as calm, because it didn't look like anybody of them went for like big, extreme and very snappy transitions, but at the same time it's very surgical. It's exactly what you need to do. All the zones are filled perfectly by Juan in the lead position, and Frederick is also keeping it right on the doors for most of the run. Good chase from him, not maybe 100% angle mimic, but he stays in the pocket throughout the entire track. Good to see it from them. Gonna be a hard decision from the judges.
Oh yeah, definitely can see that both the drivers are very close in terms of the qualifying scores as well. You know, very, very solid driving by both of them. Now, of course, all of it in the judges' hands to see who advances on from this one. I honestly could not make a call if I was asked on something like this, you know.
Yeah, I would just, every time I would just say OMT because I want to see more drifting.
Exactly, just give me some more door-to-door action, you know. All I want to see all night long is some aggressive transitions, you know, bumper to bumper right there. Seeing a lot of those already in the top 16 and top 13 too. Well, top 32 mostly. But yeah, hoping to see a lot more of those coming up in the next battles as well. So let's wait and see for the judge's decision on this one. Still deliberating, so very close battle. Looks like I'm not the only one who's having some trouble understanding who could be the winner of this one.
Yeah, are we gonna see our first one more time? Maybe, because we haven't seen one yet in this competition.
Oh, I wouldn't mind. I would not mind at all. Oh, another look at the replay, all right. Yeah, checking out that chase by Juan right there. Maybe it was the initiation's fault on that one as well. Maybe they're considering that could be. Who knows?
He did initiate like a split second later if you take a closer look at it, I think. It wasn't exactly perfectly timed. But throughout the rest of the run, of course, it doesn't make any difference. It only made a difference there. But yeah, it might cost you some points for sure.
Definitely something I should pay more attention to as well is the initiation timing. Now, of course, from the lead driver, you don't want the initiation to be too late. But enough of that. Let's see what the judges have to say. It looks like we have a decision, and it is Juan Jorge's with the win on this one. So congratulations to you. I'm going to be moving on to the top 8. Thank you, of course, Frederick, for participating and making it to top 16. Great job. Hope to see more of you on round 4. Thank you very much.
And next up we have another great battle. The 4th qualifier versus the 20th qualifier. We're gonna have Armands Westman is going against Markuss Milns. So another Latvia versus Latvia battle as well. Armands, representing our own racing team Riga, of course, is gonna start this battle in the lead position. And E36 versus E36 as well. This is going to be good.
Definitely should be good. And we can see already Markuss in the chase, leaving some more space there.
Yeah.
But enough of that, let's get on with the battle right now.
Yeah, let's see how Markuss does in the chase versus Armands. So a nice flick initiation. The cars gap between them in outer zone 2. Markuss trying to catch up to Armands, who is known for very fast lead runs. and but the proximity looks almost exactly the same going through outer zone 4 and almost completely disappearing as Markuss reels him in, going for the inside clip around the pizza and into outer zone 7. A little bit of a gap again, but Markuss immediately corrects it as they go through outer zone 8 right now and on the speedway part of the track for the touch and go. A nice big angle transition for the outer zone 10, and as they go through outer zone 11 as well. Good angle and good proximity from Markuss in the chase in basically a biggest part of the track altogether.
I would say that I am seeing Markuss go a little bit shallower on the angle to keep the proximity up at quite a few parts of the track. But that is, of course, because Armands is providing a very fast lead as well, but still hitting all of the zones. Great line from Armands right there. We can see Markuss here having some trouble catching up, so of course shallows out the angle just a bit, so keeping the proximity going, sacrificing a little bit of line to do that, but still great job. And then on this last dive right here, a bit more angle by Markuss at the start of this one, and that's why he loses once again, just a little bit of that positioning there in the pocket, but already ready for that second drive right here for Markuss and Armands. Markuss in the leads, Armands in the chase. Armands almost passing Markuss on that initiation, right on the door, right off the bat. And we have a nice background right there as well as we transition over to outside zone 3, transitioning into outside zone 4. Markuss trying to stay into that zone right on the line, and there we go. Armands painting that rubber on the door of Markuss on the lead on this one. Aggressive transition into outside zone 7. There we go, getting back in there yet again. Great job by both drivers. Let's see what we do on the fastest part of the course right here. Touch and go. Great transition, slow it down, get into the pocket, and beautiful job by Armands. Westman is in the chase, staying on the door of Markuss Mills. Bit of left foot brake right there to keep it steady, and great job. Over the line we go.
Yeah, Markuss unfortunately couldn't do anything to shake off Armands because he was just glued to his door all the way throughout the track, right from the initiation. Let's see it again in the replay. Look what you have to do to get right there, because that was a side-by-side initiation that's really hard on this track. But he stays glued to him.
It did cause a little bit of a checkup at the very start from Armands, but other than that, I mean, he just stays right there on the door.
That was a perfect chase run from him. The best one I've seen tonight, I think.
In terms of proximity, I would agree. In terms of the angle, he could have a little bit more angle just to match it perfectly, you know, but I mean, he has to stay in that proximity somehow, right? I mean, look at that here as well. Here at the end, I mean, at the end, with that left foot brake, just gets out of the angle just a bit, but that proximity was just wonderful right there by Armands.
Yeah, really good. Nice to see him deliver over and over and over again in each and every battle. And let's see what the judges think about it as the scorecard comes up. Left for Armands Westman is, right for Markuss Mills, and it's our first OMT of the night.
And there we go,
And it's not even unanimous. It's 2 votes for an OMT and 1 vote for Armands Westman. So judges are definitely fighting it out in the booth, and we're gonna see them run this one again.
But definitely very similar runs right there. We saw both drivers sacrifice a bit of the angle just to keep the proximity going, a bit of the angle, not that much the line though. So very similar from both drivers right here. Let's see what we can do on this next one right now.
Yeah, but knowing that OMT battles are quite often more sweaty than the initial battles, I'm expecting a lot of heat in this one, as they're already initiating. Armands with a flick initiation into outer zone 2, and Markuss very close to Armands' door as they go now through outer zone 3, now transitioning over before outer zone 4. Very good proximity, and right there on the doors with a big angle match by Markuss Mills there, going around the pizza. Perfect execution and a bumper-to-bumper transition into outer zone 7, and a nice job in the chase position from Markuss there. Perfect. I love what I'm seeing there. Coming up to the touch and go, and very close transition. A nice dive for outer zone 10, and crossing the finish line with wheel to door What a chase from Markuss.
What a chase indeed. Markuss does not want to leave it in the judges' hands, driving way more aggressively on this one. Off the start, we could see a little bit less angle right there, but again, getting that angle matched, getting that line matched as well. And here outside zone 4 and 5 into the inside clip, staying right there. I feel like even a bit more angle in the chase for us. Second there as well from Markuss. So great job. And look at this transition, so aggressive right there on the bumper, dives in immediately. Great job by Markuss. Definitely leveling up his chase game on this second run right here. I mean, that is what one more times are all about. Look at that. Always love to see more driving like that.
Oh yeah, let's see if this is what it takes to beat Armands Vestmanis in a battle.
Oh yeah, definitely a close one. Armands has his work cut out for him on this chase. So let's see what we're gonna get on this next one. Can we maybe get another one more time? I mean, that was a very good run right there by our 20th qualifier, by the way. Our 20th qualifier, putting up a great fight against Armands Vestmanis, initiating out in front, great angle, a bit shallower in the zone, but gets out to the outside as well on that end of the outside zone 3 by Markuss, already out to outside zone 4. Armands Vestmanis right there in that pocket, matching the angle as well. Beautiful by both of our drivers. Let's see what we can get here on the touch and go. Right there on the closest mark, and not as aggressive on the transition, but he does also dive in later on into that zone. Outside zone 7, beautiful by both drivers. Outside zone 8 as well, right on the edge of the track, touch and go. Braking a bit here for outside zones 10 and 11. And Armands right there on the door of Markuss Mills as well. And a very close battle yet again.
Wow.
I do feel like Markuss was a bit more aggressive in his chase.
Yeah, it might have been. I did see that Armands didn't quite exactly match the angle into outer zone 2 as well, unfortunately. But there were some small mistakes by Markuss as well. He could have entered outside zone 5 a bit earlier. He did enter it a little bit shallow and then entered to the deeper part of it because of a little bit of a different line. But other than that, the lead run from Markuss is also very good, very smooth. And Armands knows that he exactly needs to do this, but he's already used to it. Most likely no problem for him.
But that's the thing. With these errors that you called out, remember, this is the 4th against the 20th qualifier that we have right here.
Yes.
And you have to look so carefully at the mistakes.
You have to pick at straws.
Exactly. Very good driving by both our Latvian drivers right here. And could we see another upset maybe getting into the top 8 on this one? That's going to be a close one. See, judges still cannot decide on the decision as well. So definitely a difficult one. What do you think, chat? Any ideas?
Yeah, chat. Who do you think will win?
Oh yeah, this definitely does look like a final or a semi-final battle. I mean, this looks great right here. Reminds me of the first one we had as well, of course, of the very first battle, you know, for our number 1 qualifier was 32nd. I mean, so many good drivers right here.
Started up with a banger already.
Oh yeah.
It was a sign for what's to come for the entire evening.
Exactly.
And we're already seeing that.
Look at that. So beautiful right there on the bumper in that transition. Great job by Markuss Mills on this one. And we have a decision, all right. Let's see which way it's going to go for this one. Armands Vestmanis or Markuss Mills. And it is Armands Vestmanis who takes the win on this one. So congratulations to Armands. Of course, thank you to Markuss for that great driving right there, man. I really love those aggressive transitions. Hope to see you on round 4.
Oh yeah, unfortunately there for Markuss. But it's no small feat to go against Armands Vestmanis. And he put up a hell of a fight. I love what we've seen. Yes.
He got it one more time against Armands Vestmanis, which is already a lot.
That was crazy. But up next again, we're going to have Karolis Bašinskas from Lithuania going up against Nikil from Canada. So Karolis is going to be starting in the lead and Nikil is going to be giving him chases. They're already off the line with a big flick initiation from Karolis into outer zone 2. A bit of a wavering and shallower angle from Nikil there. He's probably struggling to keep the speed lower because he probably wants to go faster, it feels like, as they're already going through outer zone 5 and all the proximity issues are gone. but he looks like he's chasing his rear wheel probably. Oh, and there's some contact with bumper to bumper. Doesn't give him enough room probably. Going through outer zone 7 already and leaving a little bit of a bigger gap now. Probably afraid to hit it again as they go and transition for outer zone 10. There is a small gap between them and a wheeled door coming across the finish line. Quite a bit of wavering from Nikil there in the chase position. He didn't feel comfortable there at all, I would say. A pretty decent run from Karolis in the lead though. He definitely was where he wanted to be in the zones, nice and snappy transitions.
But let's see coming up on the next transition right here. So I do feel like Nikil did impede on the transition of Karolis just a bit right here. Let's see. So he starts up the transition and just slightly hits the bumper, but does keep on going and right into outside zone 7 as well. So doesn't really impact Karolis' lead too much, but definitely gonna be some minus points right there for Nikil for that one. But still, great job by both drivers. You know, Nikil staying a bit further back in that chase, not quite on that door, but still managed to keep it somewhat clean. And well, other than that one mishap right there, great job. Let's see what we are going to get on the second run right now. And of course, Nikil in the lead, Karolis in the chase, E46 versus E36 action. Really liking that livery on the E36 as well, but liking those minimalistic ones, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree.
And there we go, off the line we go. Into the first corner, a nice wide flick, and straightens out a bit Nikil right there before that entry on that one. Might be a bit of a late initiation, honestly, but Karolis right there in the pocket, not letting him run away at all. Look at that, a bit far on the outside zone 4 by Nikil, but does clean it up by outside zone 5, and Karolis, there we go, staying on that door. A little bit of a gap between them, but nice aggressive transition into outside zone 7. There we go. That is what I like to see. Still leaving a bit of a gap because he saw what Nikil did, you know, doesn't want to repeat the same mistake as well. And there we go. Outside zones 10 and 11. A bit far for Nikil right there in the lead, but does manage to save it. Had to shallow out a bit, but does finish the run. And there we go. Great job by both drivers. A bit of contact right there after the line. Calm down there, Karolis. Calm down.
No, that's just a fist bump.
Fair enough. Fair enough. But great job by both drivers. I mean, Karolis, I feel like definitely more consistent in that chase.
Yeah, it's another occasion of seeing Nikil being more comfortable in the lead position and not as comfortable in the chase position. We've seen some other drivers also do the same, struggling a little bit in the chase, but then putting up solid leads, as we see here. Maybe could have went in with a bit of more angle for some of those outer zones, but still feels like a very smooth lead run from Nikil there, and the proximity from Karolis in the chase was all the way there.
Exactly. So sorry guys for the issues YouTube's having. Unfortunately, we cannot control those, you know.
Yeah, the gods are against us today.
Oh yeah, but let's hope it's gonna clear up soon, you know. Let's hope we're gonna be able to show you the rest of the battles that we have coming up. Of course, with this one still in the judges' hands as well, and yet again, no quick decisions. So judges definitely deliberating on who to give this win to. And another look at the replay, a very wide initiation there by Karolis. Maybe they're checking that out as well. You know, could be that the lead driver also takes up just a bit too much space on that initiation, and that impedes the chase driver. But either way, great runs right here. I mean, right there on the edge of the track. Beautiful job by Nikil on the lead on that one.
Yeah, you can accidentally pull off a triple initiation sometimes if you're if you get carried away. That contact right there that we just saw going through outside zone 7, it was just before it. I think we can safely put that on Nikil, although of course I don't quote me on it. So that would definitely give Karolis an advantage, and his chase run was immaculate.
Exactly.
That was some really good proximity all the way throughout the track. So I think probably safe to say that he has this in the bag. But let's see what the judges think. Do they agree with me? And we've got 2 votes for Karolis and 1 vote for one more time. So Karolis is going to take this with a non-unanimous decision.
But there we go, we have a winner on this one. And yeah, we had one more time call on that one, so maybe a bit of a split decision there regarding the contact that we had.
Yeah,
So interesting there. You know, might have been that also had some bones to pick with Karolis' initiation on his lead as well. So could have been a lot of things that impacted that choice right there by one of our judges. But yeah, there we go. We have two of our top four, well, one bracket side of the top four of the final, well, no, top 8, apologies. We have done already with Mark and Juan, number 1 and number 9 qualifiers, and then Armands, Vesmans and Karolis Bashinskas, number 4 and number 5 qualifiers. So already one side of the bracket, only the top 10 left on that one.
Oh yeah, and on the other side of the bracket, on the right side of it, we're going to continue now with our remaining 4 top 16 battles. The first one's going to be pretty interesting, an all-Latvian battle of Matis Slots is going against Ritus Jakobsons, qualifying positions 2 versus 15.
And very aggressive chase from Ritus that we saw before, and I hope to see more of that. That is one of the drivers that I remember with a nice and aggressive transition out into outside zone 7, which is, in my opinion, the best looking part of the track from the camera views that we have available right here.
Yes, and combined with smooth leads of Matis, I think we're in for a treat for the first battle. Then next up we're going to be following it with Enk versus Giannis Clocks, or 26th versus 10th. Then Andris Kleinbergs versus Declan Donnelly, and then closing it out with Vava versus Edvinas Kudaba. Those are also going to be some interesting runs.
Oh, definitely. So, of course, looking at the last battle that we're going to have here right there, Vava versus Edvinas. Also, two very high qualifiers, qualifying 6th and 11th, so it should be a very, very close battle on that one. Now, of course, curious to see what we're going to have on the second battle, though. Enk versus Giannis right there, 26th versus 10th qualifier. So, not qualifying that high for Enk, but hey, still making it on to the top 16. Maybe he can make it all the way to the top 8 as well.
Yeah, man, we haven't seen Giannis really battle today. As you remember, he had a bye run in top 32 because his opponent didn't show up. So he hasn't gotten down and dirty with the tandems yet today. So maybe that will impact his run. Let's see if he has had enough practice in the practice servers, but that might definitely work against him too.
Yeah, I mean, Enk already managed to get those nerves out of the way in the top 32, you know. Those might still be affecting Giannis as well coming into the top 16. You never know. You never know how these things can impact the drivers as well. Definitely does impact the driving big time. I mean, yesterday in qualifying we did have a bit more talk about the nerves and all of those things, since, you know, we had all the qualifiers who are also newer to the whole competition scene, and just like me, for example, you know, like you really feel those nerves coming up to your first drive, first qualifying run, and also, of course, I would assume when you get up to your first tandems, you know, hopefully gonna find out what that feels like sometime soon here as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping for exactly the same, as I still haven't managed to qualify, at least here. But I have managed to qualify in some other tournaments, and let me tell you, it is completely different going in tandems than it is in the qualifying, because qualifying you're on the grid alone, and being there with just somebody else driving with you sometimes just makes it a bit easier. But I guess it probably depends from driver to driver, from person to person. Like, does it make it easier or make it more stressful? I don't know. But usually the ones where I've been participating is all the drivers in the same call.
And there we go. Looks like we have the drivers on the server already, getting some practice in. We got a few people off the line right now, and the rest of them waiting patiently at the start line, getting some last few laps in before the battles are going to be continuing here in the top 8.
Yeah, they're putting some rubber down on the track so it's easier to drive later on.
But of course.
Yeah, and getting adjusted to their wheels and getting adjusted to each other. Of course, how do you think, if you would be in tandems and you would be in the practice server, would you try to avoid the driver you have to go up against in the practice, or no?
In practice, honestly, if I'm on this server already, all I care about is just getting the most laps I can.
So you wouldn't care that you're basically just running a trial for that battle?
Not really, not really. And I mean, if you do get to practice against those drivers, you're gonna get to see what their driving style is like, you know? You're gonna get to see what their leads are like, and I think it does make it for a way easier chase. Unfortunately, we're not seeing any people who are from the same team battling it out, because those battles usually look very good, since those are drivers who have a lot of practice together with each other. You know, like for example, whenever we do practice together, right?
Yes.
We get the most laps with each other, so we are the most comfortable driving together with each other, and that results in the best battles. And that is now the drivers pitting, which means we are ready for our top 8 battles coming up right now.
Top 8? No, we're still in top 16.
Top 8,
we're
apologies.
on the other bracket. We're in the second half of top
Apologies.
16 with the first battle of Matis Slats is going up against Ritums Jakobsons. Matis Slats is going to be in the lead with the E46 and Ritums in the chase with the E36. And a nice initiation for Matis there, and Ritums immediately closes the gap and gets right in the pocket of Matis, going through outer zone 3. Very wide line for Matis there, and a nice aggressive transition from Ritums in the chase there. A little bit of a gap between them, not right exactly on the door, but still good proximity from Ritums there in the chase. Still a very good line from Matis there in the lead position, and now a car's gap developed between them already, I would say. Now cut in half between outer zones 7 and 8. Now coming through the touch and go, and a big dive from Ritums to the doors of Matis, catches up to him. Looks like a front wheel to bottom wheel action across the finish line. An interesting run, not exactly in the doors for Ritums, but very good overall. What's your thoughts on it?
I mean, Ritums not looking as aggressive as he was in his previous battle right here, but from Matis right here, great line, getting out to all of the zones, but in the end, in the outside zone 11, he did not get quite far into that zone, so I do wonder what happened there. I want to have a second look at that one as well, but here, I mean, look at that, outside zone 7, beautiful, right on the edge from Matis. Ritums, yeah, having some trouble following him. I mean, looks like Matis is just running away, but let's see here at the end what happened. So, don't really see any contact, but yeah, looks like some corrections, and Matis overshooting the last outside zone a bit, so that might be huge coming into this second run right here. Definitely cannot leave any space, and definitely cannot leave it in the judges' hands as we go off the line. Matis in the lead, Ritums in the lead, Matis in the chase, and there we go. Great initiation from Ritums on the outside zone 2, outside zone 3, filling that out nicely as well. Matis closing in and almost tapping him right there on the outside zones 4 and 5. Great job by both drivers. Going on into the inside clip, very well done. I think on the deepest part of that one, and a nice aggressive transition from Matis, not diving into that pocket as quickly as he could have, but does shallow out the angle just a bit to get the proximity going. Ritums getting some more angle for the outside zones 9 and 10 right now, and there we go off into outside zone 11, a bit shallower on the angle, but great mimic by Matis in the chase, and great job by both of our drivers. Now we did see Ritums hit all of the zones, including the last one as well. Excuse me. Will that difference in the lead make up the difference for the whole battle, or will the fact that Matis stayed closer in the chase give him out the win in the end? What do you think, Ed?
Well, the chase from Matis here was really nice. If you saw that he was on the doors right from the initiation, so he went for a side-by-side this time, and it is really difficult. You could see that he has to perfectly time when the other driver is initiating, if it's a flick initiation, and he managed that perfectly, and he still manages to stay on the doors of Ritums basically throughout all the track, just matching the timings of the transitions, just insanely good.
Yeah, I do feel like the chase by Matis was better, but that last outside zone definitely does make an impact as well for the scoring.
Yeah, probably, but I don't know. It's probably hard to judge because one is a thing that happened only in one zone. The other is a thing that basically impacts the entire track. So
but we have the decision already, and that is
unanimous.
Jakobson's
Yeah.
unanimous decision. So there we go. Looks like that last outside zone really costing Matis the battle right there. Congratulations, Ritums, on the win. Unfortunate to see Matis go out so early, but of course, thank you for participating, and well, can't wait to see you in round 4.
Well, yeah, if you beat somebody as high in the scores as Matis Slats is, then you're pretty destined to maybe go even into the finals.
Oh yeah, definitely. I do want to see some more aggressive driving from Ritus.
Yeah.
It does feel like he was holding back a bit more on this one, so hoping to see some more aggression in the top 8 battles. But speaking of the top 8, we have to see who he's going to be going up against.
Oh yeah, because next up we're gonna have Ank going up against Giannis Clocks, so Latvia versus Mongolia. Giannis is going to be in the lead for this first part of the battle, and Ank is going to give him chase. An E46 battle overall, as they're already across the line, and a flick initiation from Giannis, and a bit of a gap between them immediately already, which Ank is trying to fix by adding some more angle and some shimmying right there to get more on the inside line. Giannis doing a good job on the lead position, while Ank is struggling to keep up with him at the beginning, but now puts his wheel right on Giannis' doors, coming through now, going into outer zone 7. Now has to play catch up once again, but is pretty successful about it. A little bit of a gap between them developing and then reducing. And what happened there, might that have been some line off the track for Ank there in the chase position? Really hard to see, because that's exactly where the cameras switch, but that looked like a very weird line from Ank at the very end there.
Yeah, definitely seeing a very nice and solid lead line from Giannis right here in top 32. He was getting a bye run, so of course got more practice on those lead runs. And well, Ank having some trouble at the start of the lap, but right here by the touch and go, I mean, getting nice and close. Unfortunately, not really managing to keep the same line and angle. As you can see, sacrificing a bit of that to get the proximity back, as we see Giannis just running away from him in some of those faster parts. And here as well, the transition not quite as snappy and on point as we've seen before as well, not managing to get into that pocket right away. So let's see if it's going to be any different now that we've swapped positions. Ank in the lead, Giannis in the chase, and let's see. A nice flick initiation right there by Ank. Giannis staying a bit further back, alright, but keeping it nice and consistent. Transitioning into outside zones 4 and 5 right there, a bit late into that zone, well, more towards the middle of the zone, if I would correct myself on that one, by the lead driver, but Giannis still leaving a bit of room right there between them. Transitioning into outside zone 7 and a lot more room right now. Ank starting to run away from Giannis, and he cannot manage to catch up, alright. We're going up to the touch and go, and a car's distance in between them. Can Giannis manage to make up that distance with a bit of a line sacrifice? No, he does not. He stays on the same line, and a huge gap to end off this lap right here. And well, that was very interesting. I mean, at the start of the lap, Giannis was staying closer, but it did seem like he could not quite get on to that door consistently. So what did you see there? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there really. It might have been that Giannis was not really trying to put an aggressive chase, knowing that Ank had some issues in the chase, and so he wanted to keep some distance, but got just a little bit over complacent with it. Just maybe gave him too much room, and then just continued to lose it more and more. But yeah, really hard to tell, because the gap was immense. You could not see Giannis on the cameras at certain times as well, and that already shows you that the gap is just too huge. It's not even thought that the gap is ever going to be like that big between two drivers. Indeed. If the cameras are adjusted like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, there we go. Looks like the stream is now once again smoother than it was before, so sorry for that. Yet again experiencing some small technical difficulties, but we are doing whatever we can if it is something that is in our control. So there we go, waiting for the judge's decision right now, and yeah, she's still deliberating, so definitely not an easy decision on this one either.
Yeah, you could maybe even call the end of the chase run an inactive chase, but I'm not really sure how the rules go for it. Like, does it only qualify as an inactive chase if it's an inactive throughout the whole run, like if you just get...
Well, that's the issue though, we couldn't even really see how far the other car was.
Yeah.
So it is difficult for us to judge.
Maybe he even shut it down and we didn't even see it.
I mean, then I do feel like it would have been a very quick decision though.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, looking again at the replay right here, I mean, Giannis in the chase on this one,
No, Enk in the chase on
Oh,
this one.
Enk is in the chase on this one. Oh, apologies, missed that up. But yeah, I mean, we can see that, you know, both drivers had some stronger and weaker points of the track. Definitely where we got the pizza, the roundabout right there, I mean, both the drivers getting quite close, but the rest of the track,
You see, but this is the only real big mistake that Enk did in his chase. The rest was pretty solid. Way better proximity than Giannis had in his. He was actually going for the doors and he was right there. He wasn't maybe exactly in the zero proximity to his doors, but he was very close to it. And just one mistake there. So I think Giannis just kept a bigger gap between him and the lead driver for way more of the track. So I don't think that's going to work in his favor at all.
But of course, once again, we can definitely see that the difference between the drivers, the setups and the driving styles as well, showing that you can get a huge gap in between the cars, even though they are the same exact car that they are driving as well.
You are absolutely right about that. Definitely shows that each of the drivers has set up the car to their own liking, to their own specification. Somebody likes more speed, somebody likes more angle, somebody likes the car to be more twitchy, somebody likes it to be more steady. And as we're watching the other run again of Giannis' chase and Enk's lead, yeah, as you see that Giannis did try to be relatively close to the lead car at the beginning of the run, and as you see here before outer zone 5, he's almost at the door even.
Still some
but
way
starting from here in this transition, he
Yeah.
probably does it very late, so he loses a lot of ground here, and this is the power alley of the track, quote unquote. And this is where Enk completely loses him in the rear view mirrors.
Oh yeah,
And he can't catch up.
There's a solid one, maybe even 2 car distance in between right there at a certain point. So yeah, not quite what we want to see. And there we go. Looks like we have a decision by our judges. So who is it going to be? Is it going to be Enk? Or is it going to be Giannis moving on to the top 8? And we have, there we go, Giannis moving on. 2 decisions for Giannis, one more time decision. So once again, not split. And once again, 2 judges going for one driver and one of the judges going for one more time.
Yeah. Right, and we're going to have a judge come in and give feedback on this decision right there. So that's
Good evening again. Yep, so this decision definitely requires a bit of explanation again. So why Giannis? Actually, both runs had a 0 in the chase run. So the car number 222, he was 2 wheels off on the outside zone 10. Independent mistake on the chase side. And driver number 89, he was so far off the chase that it is also deemed as a 0 on the chase run. So that means we compared lead to lead. In my opinion, the mistakes made by both drivers were similar of value and actually quite on the similar places. But the other 2 judges decided that Giannis made less mistakes, thus the run was far from perfect, and he got the win.
right. Thank you. Definitely
very
a tough
much.
decision. Yep.
So there we go. There we go. Yeah, I didn't even notice those 2 wheels off. Didn't even pay attention
Yeah,
to that part.
I told you that it might have been 1 wheel off, but I didn't think it was 2 wheels off, and apparently it was.
Well, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go. And also the inactive chase as well. So unfortunately, too much of a gap building up between both of the drivers on that one. So yeah, very interesting, and very glad to hear the input from our judges as well. So there we go.
Yeah, I'm kind of glad that one of these times we actually guessed it.
Yes, yes. We actually, we guessed at least part of it, you know.
We guessed
I didn't
part
see
of it,
those- I
yeah.
didn't see those 2 wheels off, you know.
Yeah.
I did miss that part. But anyways, on to the next one.
Yeah, on to the next one, which is going to be a heater of a battle, because we're going to have Giannis Kleinbergs in the lead going up against Declan Donnelly in the chase for the first run. That's going to be fun. Latvia versus Ireland. 3, 2, 1. The green light is off. And they go. And a nice flick initiation and smooth and steady into outer zone 2. A bit of a gap, but immediately gets closed by Declan between them as they go through outer zone 3. Nice big angle and looks like a snappy transition into outer zone 4. A little bit away from the lead car's doors is Declan, but look at this, coming through the touch and go, just almost touching front wheel to front wheel, but leaves a big gap into outer zone 7. I don't know what happened there, maybe a late transition. Now coming into outer zone 8, a big gap developing between them again, so Declan has to do a dive for outer zone 10, but can't really close the door, but does it at the very end by virtue of a very shallow line. That was a very interesting run. You can definitely see that Andres put a really good run in the lead position, his rear wheels right on the edge of the track there, and Declan doing all he can to stay in the pocket, but looks really hard for him.
Yeah, I like the aggression from Declan right here. I mean, look
Right
at that.
here, yes.
Wheel on wheel, basically. But unfortunately, on this transition, losing a lot of ground, and very difficult for him to catch up right here, as well as, of course, Andres also putting up a lot of speed in this part of the track. And yeah, here we could see that he tried to dive in, but couldn't quite get as far as he wanted initially, but does manage to catch up by the end, sacrificing a little bit of the line, but still great job in the lead by Andres. Declan making a few mistakes there in the chase, but now we're off the line for the second run already, and let's see what Declan can do in the chase. A bit of a flick initiation right there, and Andres trying to get into the pocket right away.
Ooh.
A bit less angle and some shimmying right there from Declan, and wow, we go very wide on that one. On into outside zone 4. All right, Declan filling that zone nicely out into outside zone 5 as well, and Andres right there staying as close, almost as close as Declan was in that point, but let's see if he can stay close on this outside zone 7 as well. And yes, he can stay close in outside zone 7 and 8, transitioning over into the touch and go. Fills it out nicely by Declan, and there we go. Last outside zones 10 and 11. Anders diving in right off the bat, and all of outside zone 10 in that pocket on the door. Great job by Anders in the chase, and Declan going for a nice 360 to finish off his run. And well, there we go. Great job by both drivers. Declan with a few mistakes there in the lead to start it off. Yeah, on that one he shallowed out a bit and then added a bit too much angle from what I saw. Not the cleanest out in the lead, if I do see that correctly. But Andres still making the corrections and still staying close as well on that chase. So great job by Andres. And yeah,
It looked like there was some contact between them in outer zone 3.
there might have
Here,
been. There might have been. Yeah.
Some slight, very light bumping, but other than that, really good chase run from Andres. Stays in the pocket throughout the entire track, and a pretty decent lead run from Declan as well. I really like his style of driving with the aggressive, snappy transitions.
Definitely. I do feel like Andres does have the advantage on this one, though. That just what I saw personally. You know, of course, judges might see that differently. You know, I did miss that 2 tires off on the previous run, so we'll have to wait and see what the judges are going to be deciding on this one as well. But of course, Ireland versus Latvia right here, and we have a decision as well on this one. So there we go.
Let's see, and it's unanimous for Andres this time.
Congratulations on the win for Andres Kleinbergs, moving on to the top 8. And of course, thank you for participating, Declan. Great job on your runs as well. Unfortunate to see you go out, but hey, hope to see more of you in round 4. And there we go, some celebratory donuts to exit.
Yeah, he's gonna make some smoke for the next drivers to breathe in as we come up with the last battle in our top 16. We're gonna have Vava Sezonov in the lead going up against Edvinas in the chase. As the lights go green already and they're across the starting line coming up to the initiation line, a synchronous shimmy initiation and a really good line in outer zone 2 from Vava there. Edvinas catching up to him after outer zone 2, and a really shallow line just here before outer zone 4 from Edvinas in the chase, and not an exact angle match. Vava still does really good in the lead position, still filling all the zones fully to the edge of them, and Edvinas right here on his doors now going through outer zone 8 right now. A little bit of a shallower line, and now they're going through outer zone 10. Might have been one wheel off for at least one of them. I don't know how they didn't hit the wall, because that was super close, and some wheel to door action across the finish line. That was a really interesting run. Let's watch the replay. I love the synchronous
The
initiation.
initiation was amazing, but
Yeah.
we see right here afterwards there were some mistakes made. So as we see in this initiation, in the chase, Edvinas starts the transition earlier than Vava does, so he has to check up a bit to stay behind the lead car as well.
Yeah, that was a big mistake there.
Oh yeah, but still, look at that. He cleans it up very nicely and very quickly, already into the touch and go and out into the outside zone 7, staying right there as well. So I do wonder whose fault is going to be for that mishap right there. You know, it might have also been the fault
Look
of
at
the
this,
lead
yeah.
transitioning late as well, but right there, how do they not hit the wall? I
Yeah.
do agree with you right there. I thought they were going into the wall.
It
That
does
was
look
so
like at
close.
least one of them is off the track, at least.
Yes,
Wheel though.
yes, but we're already off with the second run right here. This time it's going to be Edvinas in the lead with a nice flick initiation, but straightening out a bit. So let's see, filling out the outside zone 2 nicely into the outside zone 3 as well. Vava right there on the rear wheels, transitioning at around the same time. Vava staying close on outside zones 4 and 5 right there. Great proximity, great mimic of the angle as well. And there we go, hitting the touch and go right there, as deep as you can go on that one for Edvinas, and a very aggressive, very aggressive transfer from Vava in the chase, staying right there on the door throughout the whole zone right here into the touch and go. Let's see, transition and diving in to the last outside zones 10 and 11. Great job by Vava in the chase. Edvinas with a solid lead run as well. A bit of a mess up there on the initiation. Let's see what happened there. So he tries to initiate and just slides for a
gives
bit.
it a bit more angle, it feels
Yeah.
like, but fortunately Vava handles that perfectly.
Oh,
I really
yeah.
like his transition timings, so he definitely stays on the door throughout him. He keeps the ground where others
And look
mostly
at this.
lose it. Yeah,
Just look at this transition
Bumper
right
to
here.
bumper.
Oh, so close. I love seeing the dives on that transition.
the thing
That
is that
just
he-
amazing.
it doesn't even look aggressive in terms of that he's not jumping for it much. He just
He was keeping it calm and collected. Yeah.
yes, very calm and collected, but still right on the doors there.
A little bit of contact there, I think, across the line as well. That was great. Very well done. Very well done.
Might be, yeah, but a good chase run from Vava. Let's see, and the scorecard is already up, and we are ready. And Vava gets the last spot in our top 8. So unfortunate for Edvinas as well. Welcome back to the next race. We hope to see you there, and we wish you better luck in the next one. And we have our top 8 settled in, so that's going to be even more heated. We're going to have Marko Rourke going against Juan and Armands Westman is going up against Karolis Bashinskas. We're going to have Ritus Jakobsons going up against Giannis Kloks.
With a huge upset, with Ritus getting into the top 8 as well. So
Yeah.
our only driver who wasn't in the top 10 in the qualifying who's made it this far. by
You
Ritus.
are right, yes, exactly. And then on the last battle of top 8, we're going to have Andris Klenbergs versus Vava Sezonov. All these battles, just by reading the names, you know that this is going to be fun.
Oh, definitely, definitely. We have a lot of great drivers coming into this one. I can't wait to see the nice and close tandems that we're going to be getting here. Of course, hoping for some more aggressive driving from Ritus, as I said before when we did see the previous battle. But I mean, all of these drivers just love sticking on the doors in that chase. And hey, all of their lead lines are amazing as well.
Yes, I completely agree. Well, we did see Armands and Andris and Vava already in top 4s and podiums this year already in the season. Unfortunately, Vava skipped the previous race, so he is here with new strength to gain back on those lost competition points to get him higher up on that overall standings.
And there we go, the drivers are in the server already. And of course, for the battle of Vava versus Anders, I mean, that is going to be a difficult one. Definitely not going to be easy for Vava to try to get back onto the top of that podium. Difficult battles up ahead for all of the drivers that we have.
Yes, exactly. All of them have already won at least 2 battles to get to this point.
And
Except
there
Giannis.
we see the semaphore getting out into the track. Is he going to make some laps? Yes, he is. Yes, that's what I like to see.
Yeah. remember that the semaphore has VDC physics, so it has like 800 horsepower.
So he could easily smoke any of those other cars.
Absolutely. He could smoke all of them combined.
We need a fantasy battle. Moist on the semaphore versus our top qualifiers.
Oh yeah.
That has to be a new thing. We have to implement that, you know? Just a nice fantasy battle, get it out of the way to get things started. But yeah, as we can see, all the drivers getting ready, getting some nice tandems in as well. And oh, some contact right there. Whoa. All right, back to pits they go. So yeah, let's wait and see what we are gonna have for this top 8. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, all of our viewers, don't forget to follow all the socials, like the stream as well, you know, help us out, get to more people as well, you know, to show the drifting community to others. And of course, join in as well on the Discord, you know, pop in the conversations that we're having over there. Maybe show off your sim rig as well in one of the chats. Always nice to see and get some ideas for what to do to my own rig as well, for example, you know. Always great to see that. So yeah, great runs that we've seen so far. And what do you think? Do we have any predictions for who we think the winner is going to be of this one? Because, I mean, it is looking very close. Very close. I don't think anybody can really predict it with 100% certainty, because these battles are looking very intense, and I do feel like pretty much any of these drivers that are left could take it all the way to the finish. And well, one of them definitely will. Only time will tell who those drivers will be.
Very close tandems in practice already.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's the top 8. These guys know what they're doing.
Drawing lines around the pizza there, just smoking it up. Smoked pizza? Question mark?
Smoked ham pizza. No, I'm getting hungry. Let's stop this. I already wanted to go to the store on the previous break, you know. We have to make it to the end of this before I go get some food.
Okay.
Oh, and there we go. Looks like the judges and, well, everybody else has heard me. We're going back to pits and we're starting off the top 8 already. Thank you very much. I do appreciate that.
Let's bring it on. We're getting closer to the conclusion of this race. And we're getting into more and more heated battles. The first one we're gonna have is Markuss, our top 1 qualifying from Ireland, going up against Juan from Spain. Mark is gonna be in the lead and Juan's gonna be in the chase. And Mark already nice in the flick initiation into outer zone 2, but Juan immediately on his doors, not letting him get away immediately in the pocket as they go through outer zone 3. Already transitioning over to outer zone 4, Juan doesn't lose any ground as they go through outer zone 5, smooth and steady. Maybe a bit shallower on the angle is Juan, but still Mark puts up a really good lead run. Look at that proximity to the edge of the track from him, and Juan still sticking it to Mark's doors as they go through the touch and go and transition into outer zone 7 with a dive from Juan, a little one. He didn't really need that much. He already had all the proximity he needed across the finish line. Really good run from both of them.
Yeah, I mean, great run yet again by Mark in the lead. Yet another amazing run. Of course, our top qualifier on this one, just not wavering whatsoever in that lead. Juan sticking close though, of course, sacrificing some of that angle and maybe sometimes some of the line, but still not letting Mark run away with it at all. So great runs by both drivers on this one. Of course, can't wait to see what Mark is going to do in that chase as well. Great job on this one. I mean, look at that, right on the outer edge into the touch and go, and then beautiful transition on the edge of the wall right there for outside zones 10 and 11. Great job yet again by both our drivers lining up. And there we go, Mark leaving a bit of a gap right there, wants to get a bit more of a run up, so maybe going to be initiating right on the door immediately. Let's hope for that as we go off the line. Juan in the lead, Mark in the chase. A nice flick entry, and there we go. Mark right on that door, has to brake a bit to keep that gap there to not smash into the door, but amazing, staying very close into the outside zones 4 and 5. A bit more angle in the chase even, maybe. Has to do some small corrections. Yeah, now a bit less angle, but still keeping that proximity nice and close right there through the touch and go. And a nice aggressive transition right on the bumper. Mark transitioning before Juan on that one and holding it together right on the door through outside zones 7 and 8, touch and go, slowing it down for outside zone 10 now, and there we go. Mark diving into that pocket and beautiful, mimicking the angle, the line perfectly at the end. I think we saw a few small bumps there as well, leaving some marks on the door. Great run by Mark, and
wow,
yeah, that entry right there, catching himself off just a bit, a bit too much speed for Mark going in there, so he had to brake, but managed to correct it immediately.
Almost over rotated here in outer zone 4, but
a few mess ups there from Mark right there. Not as smooth as his lead runs, but I mean, look at that transition and the proximity. He's staying so close.
Yeah,
that
is such a run. That is perfect.
That proximity is just immaculate right there by Mark in the chase. Of course, great job by Juan, providing a very solid lead as well. Very, very well done, getting to all those zones. And there we go, got both the drivers now waiting for the result. And wow, we have a result already. So there we go, Mark versus Juan, who's going to be going into the next battles. And it's going to be Mark right there. Congratulations with the win, with the amazing chase and lead from Mark. Great job, of course. Thank you to both of our drivers. Thank you, Juan, for participating as well. Great job making it to the top 8. We hope to see you on the next one. And there we go.
Mark is just continuing his flawless event run.
Oh yeah,
to be honest,
could get a flawless event right here.
Yeah.
He does win the whole thing. #1 qualifier, maybe even the winner. But we already have the next drivers going onto the line. Armands Vesmanis making his way onto the line, waiting for Karolis, Bashinskas as well. Looks like Armands Vesmanis is going to be in the lead to start things off. 2 beautiful E36s, white and black, ready to go. And there we go, green light, let's go.
And they're off the line. Armands is going to be in the lead, and flick initiation from him. Karolis right there with him, immediately right from the initiation. Very close proximity in outer zone 2, now coming in 3, smooth and steady. Perfectly timed transition from Karolis as well, keeping it right on the doors of Andris as he goes through outer zone 5 perfectly, filling it out completely as they go around the pizza. Immaculately matched angle and line from Karolis in the chase. Very good against Armands. Of course, you can't have a good chase without a good lead, so Armands gives you exactly that as they transition over to outer zone 10. Perfect, and no shimmying, just sets it and forgets it for Karolis Bashinskas in the chase. Perfect run. It looks like people have figured out Armands Vesmanis and how to go against him in the chase, because we've seen 2 perfect chases up against him from drivers that we sometimes might not expect from, but
I mean, on this one, what else were you expecting? Top 4 and 5 qualifiers right there, qualifying right next to each other. Look at that, just perfectly mimicking it in the chase. And of course, what you're saying about the 2 great chase drivers that we saw against Armands, well, only a good lead can give a good chase. So definitely props to Armands as well on that lead. But wow, what a chase from Karolis on this one, matching the line and the angle so well throughout the whole track and staying close the whole time as well. Very, very, very well done, and I hope to see exactly the same going now into the other lap that we're gonna get right here from Armands Vesmanis and Karolis Bashinskas. Karolis in the lead, gonna have a nice flick initiation. Armands right there on the door immediately at the start of the zone already. Great job by both of our drivers filling out that zone perfectly. A lot of angle and a nice and smooth and slow transition there onto the outside zone 4, keeping it nice and wide for both of them. Great job. Armands with a bit less angle, if I'm seeing that correctly, but that proximity, he's right on the door. Can we get a nice aggressive transition? Yes, we can. On the bumper, dives in outside zone 7, filled out beautifully by Karolis in the lead, and Armands right there on that door in the chase as well, getting that touch and go, slowing down a bit for that outside zone 10, right on the line for Karolis, and Armands not backing off at all. Great mimic, seeing a few bumps there at the end as well on the door. Beautiful runs by both of our drivers right here, well done, and I do not want to be one of the judges right now. What a run, this is going to be a nail-biter.
Excuse me, are we in the finals?
I know, right?
This was epic, yeah.
This is great.
They basically copied each other's runs, it feels like. Karolis does a perfect lead run, fills all of the zones absolutely perfect. As you look here in the replay, they're coming around the pizza into outer zone 7, a little bit of a gap, but it was the same in the other run as well. It looks very similar between the both, and no shimmying at all. Look at this, didn't even need to do a big bomb dive to get to the doors.
Beautifully done. I mean, in the chat I can already see one more time call, and I mean, I do agree with that. I would not mind seeing one more times between these two guys.
Exactly, yes, bring it on. I'm here until like 3 a.m. please. 5 more hours of
just
this.
Back to back more of this. Yes, please. Because that was so consistent from both of these drivers. I mean, that looked just amazing. I do hope we get to see some more of this.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we definitely will, looking at all the other drivers we have left here as well. But wow, this definitely could have been a finals battle. Yeah, judges still having to decide on who the winner, or if we're going to be going one more time.
This is just a top 8.
Oh yeah.
That sounds ridiculous,
right? This is a finals battle right here. I mean, this is just amazing by both cars. Great looking cars as well, you know, the black and the white right there. One with the RTR livery, looking great by, of course, our very own Moist.
Oh yeah, and also the Lithuanian flag theme livery for Karolis Bashinskas.
Very nice and clean, very minimalistic, but I do like the look. And either way, results are in. Armands Vesmanis versus Karolis Bashinskas. Who's going to be going to the top 4? And it is Armands Vesmanis with 2 calls for him and 1 call for one more time. Another close call.
Yeah, not unanimous again. Interesting call as well. Unfortunate for Karolis, the race for him ends in the top 8, and congratulations to Armands for winning the race. Karolis, let's see you in the next one.
Definitely.
We're wishing you better luck in that. But getting to top 8 is no mere stint at all. It is pretty difficult to get there because you have to win quite a few battles. But next up, speaking of battles, we're going to have another one with Ritus Jakobssons going up against Giannis Clocks. Giannis is going to be in the lead position since he qualified higher. Ritus is going to be in the chase, and the green light is already on and they're off the starting line. Nice flick initiation for Giannis Clocks, and Ritus immediately mimics it and sets it on his door. A little bit like a tires gap between them only, but some wavering there and contact. And off the track a little bit from Giannis, what it looked like, but still they're continuing the run. Ritus still on the doors of Giannis as they go through outer zone 7, and a nice dive to get the proximity back from Ritus as they're coming up to outer zone 8 into the power alley. Giannis drops a tire in the grass as they transition over to outer zone 7. Ritus a little bit shallower on the angle, but good on the proximity in outer zone 11 as they're across the line.
And what a run right here. I mean, I do think that Ritus did impede the transition of Giannis here coming up after these outside zones right here. So let's see in this transition right here. And right there, see some contact. So that definitely did impede Giannis quite a bit, as you can see, off the track a bit for the outside zone 4 as well. But still getting back into it and getting very close. Definitely happy to see Ritus going more aggressive right here. Unfortunately, making a bit of an error there, but we can see this aggressive driving right here into outside zone 7. Great transition, staying right on the door. So great job by Ritus. Of course, Giannis dropping a tire right there as well. So definitely some mistakes by both of our drivers. And well, definitely a great run right there as well from both of them. Great lead by Giannis in the lead. Great job saving after that contact that they had right there. And let's see if we're going to be seeing some more contact, maybe some more door-to-door action on this next one. Off we go. Ritus in the lead, Giannis in the chase. Bit of a flick right there from that E36 to get it started. Left foot brake. takes out a little bit of that angle though. Not quite as stable as we saw from Giannis before in that chase. Transitioning out into outside zone 4, Ritus goes right up to the line. Giannis staying a bit further back, but still staying right there, mimicking that angle very well. And there we go. Great job by both our drivers. Can we get some more aggression into outside zone 7? No, it's the opposite. Ritus is starting to run away from Giannis. He cannot catch up through outside zone 7 and 8 and into the touch and go. Ritus goes just alone. Can we get a bit of a dive there towards the end? He does get closer, but still cannot catch up to the lead driver of Ritus Jakobssons. Over the line we go. So there we go on this one. Yeah, it does seem like Ritus was running away with it.
Yeah, interesting. And if you remember Giannis' previous battle, he also got left in the dust in the chase position, so it might have something to do with either the driving style or some bigger mistake that makes him lose the gap.
Could also be in the setup where he doesn't
Might
have
be, yeah.
as much speed.
See, here he transitioned quite a bit late, I think, before outer zone 7, and that immediately makes you lose ground.
So the two big things of this run that I would say we have to look at is that one, transition being impeded while Ritus was in the chase, and then going out to outside zone 7 and the distance that we had between Giannis and Ritus on that one. So definitely some things for the judges to look at. Not an easy one as well, I would say. But yeah, I mean, could go either way, you know. But we have a score already, well, a decision already.
Let's see what they think. Let's see if they send them again. And they don't. They send us to Ritus Jakobssons gets the win, gets into top 4. So unfortunate for Giannis. Thanks for participating.
And we're gonna have judge joining in to explain this call right here. So yeah, very excited to see what the judge is gonna say about this one, because there were some mess ups from both sides. And yeah, let's see what the judges are gonna be saying about this one. Hello, hello.
Good evening again. So the decision went for Ritus due to Giannis falling behind more than 3 car lengths. So he went out of our cameras and we have quite a wide perspective. And in that case, it's 0 in the chase run. Not either, but still considering that Ritus was in fault of the contact in the first run, Giannis gets a 0 for his chase.
That one. So there we go. Yeah, definitely both of those cases that we called out impacting this run, but unfortunately, yeah, falling that far behind an inactive chase. So thank you, of course, to both the drivers. Congratulations to Ritus, 15th qualifier, moving into the top 4 right here. And thank you to Giannis Cloaks for participating. Can't wait to see you on the next one.
Yeah, that is a bit big upset again, because he doesn't upset again. He beats somebody who qualified higher than him.
Indeed, going into the top 4 as the 15th qualifier. Great job by Ritus so far, and well, we still have to see who he's going to be up against as well. And that next battle, that should also be another nail-biter for us right here.
Yeah, because I'm absolutely not jealous of Ritus, because he has to go up against the winner of the next battle. It's going to be either Andris Kleinbergs or Vava Sezonov. That is some tough competition. No, it doesn't matter which side it sways. It's going to be tough for you in the top 4, definitely.
100%. A very, very good battle hopefully coming up for us right here.
Oh yeah,
very good drivers. 3rd and 6th qualifiers right here. So there we go. Only qualifier that we have that's double digits that's left in this is Ritus right now. So definitely all of the battles from this point on are going to be very, very close. We're going to have very solid leads, very close chases. Can't wait to see what we're going to get to see up next.
Exactly, rubbing my hands, just waiting for the runs to come in.
And there we go.
Andris and Vava are lining up on the starting line, getting ready for their battle. Andris is going to lead this run since he qualified 3rd and Vava qualified 6th. So the higher qualifier leads first, and as they're already off, and a nice flick initiation for Andris, big angle into outer zone 2, and Vava immediately on his doors as they go through outer zone 3 already. Andris still keeping a big angle after the transition coming into outer zone 4 and fills it very well. Same with outer zone 5, but Vava mimics his angle and line perfectly and is right on his doors. Nice dive to get all the proximity back into outer zone 7 as they already come through outer zone 8 into the fast part of the track, transitioning over for outer zone 10. Vava still there, doesn't let off at all, the pressure all the way throughout the track. Really good lead run from Andris, really good chase run from Vava. What's your thoughts on it? Wow.
Great run right off the bat in that initiation right there, already off to so much angle from both of the drivers, and Vava gets right onto Andris' door as well. I mean, great job. Look at that, filling out the outside zones perfectly right there, and on the inside clip as well. Beautiful, right on the door, an aggressive transition, bumper to bumper. Vava does not let him run away at all at any point of the track. I mean, great job by both drivers. Really love to see that.
Yeah, that's what happens when you put two top tier drivers up against each other. They're just gonna rip the surface of the track.
Oh yeah, and I mean, of course, another finals worthy battle right here. Let's see the second run right now. Looks like we're going to be starting right here with Vava in the lead, Andris in the chase. A bit of a flick right there. Andris right on the door off them. Right off the bat. Whoa, going one wheel off right there, but still Andris sticking on that door, transitioning on into outside zone 4, left me speechless there for a moment. And there we go, we are cleaning it up a bit right now, staying on the edge of the track, staying onto that door through the inside clip, transitioning into outside zone 7, and some contact right there. Andris impeding on Vava with, but they continue on. Andris adding a bit too much angle, one wheel off maybe right there as well. So definitely seeing some more errors from Andris on this one, and transitioning on into outside zone 10, very close right on the door is Andris, mimicking the angle, mimicking the line. Great job by both drivers across the line, but those few errors right there might have sealed the deal for Andris. So let's look at the replay right now, starting off with the initiation right here. Vava washing out just a bit, going one wheel off. So there might have been some contact, there might have been a lot of things that happen right there that we can't really see from our point of view on this one. But as we are moving on past the inside clip, this is definitely something that we could see very well right here on this transition. Some contact right there, but still Vava continuing on, respect for that. And yeah, Andris with yet another mess up after that one. So uncharacteristic mistakes.
Yeah, very interesting. Already from the start of this run, it did look like some wavering from Vava there. And interesting to see if that one wheel off track was because of the contact and whose fault the contact was overall. Because when things happen that fast, it's really hard to understand whose fault it was.
Oh yeah.
To be honest. But yeah. Really interesting.
Especially when they are that close to each other and that similar in terms of speed and angle and everything. Because you can make the smallest contact that from maybe one angle we as spectators cannot see, but from the correct angle that the judges have, or from inside of the car, you know, you can definitely feel that way more. So could have been an impact there as well, but I do definitely feel like the most impactful thing here is going to be the transition and the of that. But right now we have the results in already.
We have the scorecard up and we're waiting for the results, and it's 2 for Vava and 1 for Andris. So Vava Sezonov is moving on to the top 4 as our last top 4 driver, and Andris gets knocked out in top 8. Unfortunate for Andris. Better luck in the next race. Let's see you there.
So there we go. Yeah, definitely looks like that impedance on the transition there after the inside clip definitely impacted the decision that the judges had on the previous one as well. So yeah, great job by both our drivers. Unfortunate for Andris with those mistakes, but hope to see you on the next round. So there we go. Going to be moving on to the top 4 with this one. We have Mark versus Armands Vesmanis, and then Ritus versus Vava coming up on this one. And wow, great battles coming up for us. Going to be seeing the number 1 qualifier going up against Armands Vesmanis, one of our Latvia's own, and of course Ritus, another Latvian right there with a bunch of upsets so far. Can he make it to the finals versus Vava? Definitely a difficult battle for him right here, but with the aggression that he has been showing, hey, it could also be possible. It could happen.
Yeah, anything can happen, as Ritus Jakobsons is on a streak to prove exactly that today. Already managed to get into the top 4, which is very high up in the competition. And Vava is an absolute robot of a driver. You do remember all of his runs. He's very smooth both in the lead and in the chase.
Definitely.
He is very predictable in the lead, but in the chase, he's just gonna completely get glued to your door. And Mark there, the only left representative in the race for the E46. So all the rest ones are E36s, so we only have one left in the top 4.
And he is the top qualifier as well. So can he get the perfect event?
Still going for it. Let's hope for it. Best of luck him doing that. Of course, we can't be biased, so best of luck to all the drivers participating in the race. We don't mean anybody bad luck. We mean everybody only the best.
I mean, what we and I would assume everybody else here wants to see is just some nice and close tandems.
Exactly.
And that is exactly what we are hoping for right now. And I mean, if you look in the background right there, oh, they are so close already, all of them. Just look at that door to door. I can barely see them through the background there, but oh man, looking spicy already.
This is gonna be fun. I can't wait to see who takes the podium for this one. And I'd like to see that the top qualifiers are getting there, and it looks like it might have been a call to pits because everybody just teleported away.
Yep, looks like we're going to be starting in just a bit. We have our first drivers heading out right now.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And if I'm correct, then it's going to be Mark Rourke going up against Armands Vestmanis. Mark is going to be leading for the first run, and Armands is going to be chasing him, as they're already on the start line waiting for the lights to go green so they can go at it.
There we go, we got the Irish support in the chat. Can we maybe get some Latvian flags as well from our Latvian supporters?
Yeah, bring it on.
Not biased?
Not biased at all. Let's see if Mark can take this last E46 that's left in competition right down to the finals, as they're already off the line. And a big flick initiation from Mark, and Armands is right there in the pocket immediately. Mark, of course, still stays right on the very edge of the track. Armands still stays glued in his doors. A small gap developing between them in outside zone 4, but looking much better in outside zone 5 already, where Armands' tire is almost on Mark's front door. Good transition into outer zone 7 itself. Not a lot of space between them at all, as they already go through outer zone 8 and into the speedway part of the track, transitioning over to the outer zone 10. Armands still stuck on Mark's door, doesn't let the pressure off at any given time. Great run from both of them. Mark still keeping the perfect lead runs going. I mean, this guy just doesn't make mistakes, does he?
I do feel like all the runs we've seen from Mark up front have been at the very least in the 80 points right there. But hey, Armands not letting that up at all, staying right there in the pocket. I mean, of course, have to use the ability to chase when you have that great lead run in front of you. I mean, Armands does just that, getting into that outer zone 7 right here, staying right on the door, not leaving any gap whatsoever. Going through this outside zone 8 and the touch and go as well. I mean, great job both in the lead and in the chase. Exactly what we want to see. Another finals level battle on our hands right here.
Yeah, beautiful from both of them. It looks like Mark is gonna
big gap left by Mark right there. All right, and looks like we are off the line again for the second run right here. Armands in the lead, Mark in the chase, flick initiation. Mark trying to get on that door right away. Armands on the wall on outside zone 1 into outside zone 3 right here. Beautiful from Mark. A bit less angle though, so we're going into outside zone 4, matching it once again. Armands great on that outside zone 4 and 5 right on the edge, hitting that inside clip right there. Very good job. Can we see an aggressive transition and right on the bumper, dives in right away from Mark into outside zone 7. Great job, and there we go, not letting any distance between him as well. Into the touch and go, transitioning into outside zone 10, breaking up a bit, and there we go. Mark into that pocket, doesn't have to dive because he's already right there, mimicking perfectly across the line. Great job by both of our drivers. Amazing runs right here. That was so close. That is not going to be an easy call in my opinion.
Yeah, he immediately initiates right in the pocket and stays there for the entire run. Looked also very smooth by Mark here, but a little bit of a late transition for the
outside zone 3. After outside zone 3, there was a bit of wavering there from Mark, and that honestly might be enough to call this right here.
If we have to pull hairs and pick straws, then we have to look at tiny details, because we have the greatest of the greatest in the top 4 battling it out against each other, and they're going to be putting just solid, perfect, almost perfect runs. So you have to look for the tiniest mistakes to inch out a winner.
Oh yeah, definitely. But yeah, I do feel like that was a bit of an uncharacteristic so far mistake from Mark. I mean, so far he has been laser focused, going everywhere where he has to go.
Yes.
So unfortunately, even one mistake like that can be it for the whole tourney for you. So let's see if that's going to be the case. Still looking at the replay. All right, still no decision. So definitely still seeing what they can find out from the judge's point of view as well. So let's see, this time Mark in the lead. Yeah, Armands with a solid transition right there. Bit of a gap. Yeah, but still keeping it nice and close, I do feel like the consistency of the proximity was a bit better for Mark in the chase.
Yeah.
But I do feel like that mistake is a pretty big one as well. At this point, you know, at the top 4, you really cannot be making mistakes like that. But what if it was maybe because of the transition from Armands? I mean, could also be the case right here.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell, you know, if in one of the runs the average proximity is 4.5 centimeters and the other one is 5.5.
But we have the results right here, and let's see who's going to be going into the finals. And it's going to be Mark into the finals, unanimous decision. So congratulations to Mark O'Rourke. We're going to be seeing him in the finals, and Armands Westman is going to be battling it out for 3rd. So there we go.
Yeah, Mark continues his perfect race score and getting into the finals, and let's see if he can top it out. He has only one battle left for a completely perfect event. But next up, we're going to have the king of upsets today. Ritus Jakobson is going up against Vava Sezonov, a Latvia versus Ukraine battle. Vava is going to start in the lead position since he's the higher qualifier, and Ritus is going to give him the chase. And this is going to be an E36 versus E36 battle, so let's see if Ritus keeps the aggression up this battle. And they're already off the line. Nice flick initiation coming into outer zone 2. Ritus pretty close to Vava's door. A bit of a shimmying there in outer zone 2, but still keeps it on the door. A nice, well-timed transition to keep the proximity up. Very good line from Vava in the lead run into outer zone 4 and now 5. A little bit of a waver. Was that a wall tap from Ritus in the chase? I don't know, really hard to tell. Nice bumper to bumper transition to go into outer zone 7. Loses some ground but immediately catches it up all the way through it. Now coming up to outer zone 8. Very good proximity and angle matching from Ritus there. Not really much of a dive bomb there before outer zone 10. But still slowly gains up inches and inches of proximity, slowly inching up on that door before the finish line and across it. Very good run from Vava in the lead. Did everything that's requested of him, filled all the zones perfectly, and also very good from Ritus in the chase. He didn't let down and at any single moment of the track. Really good matching of angle and transition timing as well. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, love to see that aggression from Ritus still, but I mean, look at Vava right there in the lead, you know, just filling out the zones perfectly. Great job from Vava in the lead. And hey, Armands, Ritus keeping up in that chase as well. Of course, leaving a bit more of a gap than we've seen in the last few runs right here, but still staying close, mimicking the angle as well as he can. And well, let's see what we're gonna have for the second run right here. Light goes green, off we go. Ritus in the lead, Vava in the chase right here, and a flick initiation. Vava right on the door, right off the bat. There we go, mimicking the angle and the line perfectly right there into outside zone 3. Transition into outside zone 4. A bit of a braking there from Ritus, and right on the edge of the track into outside zones 4 and 5, but Vava does not let him go at all, mimicking it perfectly right there. and into the outside zone 7. Aggressive by Vava on the bumper right there, transitions. Keeping it close, very close. Ooh, one tire off from Ritus, but keeping it in the track still, and some contact on the transition to outside zone 10 right there into 11, still keeping it nice and clean towards the end though. So there we go. There's the run for Ritus and Vava at the end. Some contact on that one, so I do wonder who is at fault for that one. I mean, Ritus is in the lead, so he does need to have the clear way to go, but definitely could be some missed timings in the transition timings as well.
Yeah, let's see if we can figure it out better in the replay. At least looking good right over here, going across the pits. A nice bumper to bumper transition here for outer zone 7. Good proximity from Vava. Looks like he's aiming for the front wheel instead of the door. A tire off here in outer zone 8. A really big angle, really big angling up before this from Ritus there. That might lead Vava, throw Vava off. So he might not have expected such a big angle up before the transition.
Yeah, it might have been a bit of a change up from Ritus in terms of how quickly he was going into last outside zones right there.
Yeah.
So that might have messed up Vava a bit as well. So yeah, could be anyone's call at this point. Can't really tell who is at fault for that one. So it looks like the judges are still trying to decide. But yeah, here we go. The first run once again. I mean, look at that lead from Vava right there. Beautiful.
Yeah, very smooth. Like no issues at all controlling the track and putting it right where he wants on the track, right on the very edge of it. Beautiful lead run, but also very good job from Ritus, holding it on in the chase, no matter that he's going up against a man who's qualified way higher than him. He still brings his best to the competition, to any battle that we've seen today.
And then of course this also brings up the question of course Ritus did have a bit more of a gap, but what are they gonna judge harsher?
Yeah.
Having a bit more of a gap throughout the whole track, or that mistake that we had on the transition towards the end of the track when Vava was in the chase?
That is a good question. We'll see about that. I think there was a small wavering also in outer zone 2 from Ritus in his lead run.
There was a wheel off.
Yeah, probably. I don't know. But I think the other mistakes are more significant as we watch this again. Let's see.
Yeah.
A bit of a, as you saw.
No, there wasn't a wheel off. Oh,
a very tiny wavering,
I'm messing up my runs at this point already. Apologies for that. But yeah,
this might have been a wheel off.
Yeah, there he was a bit outside.
Yeah,
there
you're right. A bit if you go a bit too wide there, and that's the part where you don't really have the line of the track. So
yes,
you have to kind of guess it where it's going to be. You have to get used to how to take that line because there is no visual guide.
There was a wheel off.
Yeah,
right
that's
there.
definitely a wheel off.
Yeah, definitely some mistakes there from Ritus, and
yeah, really interesting runs.
Unsure of who is at fault for that contact.
Maybe the stress finally got to him in top 4.
I mean, getting to top 4 as the 15th qualifier.
Oh yeah.
Already great job to Ritus, no matter which way this one goes. And of course for Vava as well, right there with that purple and green livery, looking spicy.
Exactly, but none of them have their competition work cut out for them, because whoever wins goes up against Mark, who has had a perfect race so far. Nobody is able to beat him, and you will have to work miracles to be the first one.
Oh yeah. I mean, Mark has been so solid the whole day so far, and yesterday as well, of course, with that #1 qualifying score. Great job by him. So we'll have to see if it's gonna be a Latvian or a Ukrainian against the Irish driver of Mark. And there we go, we have our results in from the judges. Slide them left for Ritus, slide them right for Vava, and the winner is gonna be... And there we go, Ritus Jakobssons goes over to the final. So split decision right there. Vava gonna be battling it out for third, so congratulations to Ritus on that win and going to the finals. What an underdog run right there.
Yeah.
All the way from the 15th qualifying spot into the finals with Ritus against Mark.
And
Great
imagine doing that and then in the finals having to battle someone who is going for the perfect run.
Oh yeah,
That must be so difficult.
But wow, I mean, hey, if there's anyone who could do it,
Yeah.
what if it is
You
the
are
man
right.
of the upsets?
You are absolutely
He
right.
is the one who
Yes.
has been giving us the upsets, but now what we're going to be seeing is the third place battle, Vava versus Armands. All right, another great battle coming up right here for the third place. Two E36s, Latvia versus Ukraine. Armands to start off in the lead, and let's go.
Yeah, let's see what they can bring. Armands is going to start in the lead and Vava in the chase. And a nice flick initiation. Side by side is Vava immediately. And a big angle from Vava in the chase. Looked like a little bit bigger than in the lead. But still manages to keep the proximity up going through outer zone 3. A perfect transition for outer zone 4. And Armands right on the edge of the track. But Vava right on his doors. Really nice run from both of them. Just matching the angle and the line perfectly from Vava. Immediately catching up after the transition to outer zone 7, going through outer zone 8 right now, still sticking on his doors, nobody making a single mistake, just a textbook transition for outer zone 10 and a textbook zero proximity run basically from Vava on Armands' doors.
Zero proximity? Nah,
Well,
zero distance between the
yeah,
cars. That was
yeah.
all the proximity right there.
Excuse me.
It's a long day.
excuse
It's
me.
been a long day.
Yeah.
I get you.
And
but
English
what-
also
what
hard.
will
It's
do?
not our primary language. You have
Oh,
to
yeah.
remember that
Oh,
we
yeah.
have to basically translate all this in our heads before we say it out loud.
But anyways, what a run right there. Great lead by Armands. Great chase by Vava right there. Great job mimicking the angle, and look at
Nice.
that spicy transition. Oh, I love that. The transition into outer zone 7, that when you go aggressive on that one, that looks just so great right there on
But
the
he's aggressive without looking aggressive. He
Exactly.
doesn't make it look aggressive.
Controlled
He makes it
aggression.
look like he's doing this all day, every day.
Controlled aggression, that is
Yeah.
what we get right here from Vava in that chase. But let's see what we're gonna get from him in the lead and from Armands in the chase right now. Time for the second run for the third place battle, and off the line we go. All right, Vava in the lead right here. Flick and Armands right there on the door on the initiation already. No distance between them right off the bat already. What a start into outside zone 3, filling that out nicely. Transitioning over to outside zone 4, very wide from Vava. A bit out of the track right there to enter that one, but cleans it up nicely. Armands staying in the pocket right there on the door through the inside clip. Transitioning, let's see the dive in, and beautiful from Armands right there, keeping the consistency in terms of that proximity as well. Outside zone 8 right now. Touch and go, beautiful by both drivers. Give him some space or not. I guess no space is needed on that transition by Armands into the outside zone 11.
Wow.
What a run! So much aggression for Armands on this one. Right off the bat, look at this initiation.
That was sick. Yeah.
Immediately on the door. Great job by both drivers, of course. Vava providing that great lead line for Armands to get right into that pocket, but that aggression on the chase right there. What a run!
Yeah, if you're gonna give Armands a good lead line, he's definitely gonna take it and shove it all up in your doors.
Oh yeah.
As we just saw, that was really good from him, right off the initiation. Perfectly timed the flick to get right on the door immediately on the touch and go and the outer zone 2. Oh, look at this also. Didn't really need a dive, just needed a really precise timed transition for the outer zone 10, and he got it. He got it right on the nose.
Beautiful
Perfect.
runs.
Yes.
Wow. I mean, no matter which way this goes, both of these drivers definitely do deserve a spot on the podium right here.
Oh yeah,
Great driving.
definitely both working for it, and I'm not glazing anyone here. I'm just seeing two really good runs. And I am not envious of the judges at this point at all.
The higher we go into the battles, the worse it gets in terms of the judges having to decide for the winner, because look
Yeah.
at that. I mean, there as well, Vava throwing so much angle at the start, but that does not make him choke up at all.
Yeah,
he just
that was
stays right there
interesting.
in the door. Like,
I
this is
would have
one of those-
over-rotated.
If you saw that correctly, entering the outside zone for Armands was also just a bit too far. So for the small few mistakes that I
Yeah.
can see, it is looking very similar on this run right here.
Yeah, but that the fact that Vava threw a little bit of a bigger angle in the chase in outer zone 2 right after initiation, bigger than the lead driver, that's probably also not going to work in his favor. That could probably be one of the small tiny mistakes that we're
We
seeing.
have a result, all right.
Let's see who takes the third place, who takes the bronze and the podium, the smallest bottle of champagne. It's gonna be Vava Sezonov unanimously. Congratulations to him for the third place in this race. Unfortunate for Armands Vesmanis, who went into the top fours, into the battles for the third place, but unfortunately didn't get it.
So there we go. Congratulations, Vava, on that third place. But right now we have a final on our hands right here. It's Mark versus Ritums. Ireland versus Latvia.
Yeah, let's see if Mark can pull off the perfect race or if Ritums can pull off the perfect upset.
Yeah, so of course,
Yeah.
definitely. Right, let's get right into it.
Yeah, let's get right into it. The light is green and they're ready to go. Mark is in the lead and Ritums in the chase. Nice flick initiation, a bit of a distance between them coming into outside zone 2. Mark is painting the entire zone 2 and 3 as well. Ritums catching up to his doors, but still staying quite a bit away, going into outside zone 4. Mark is still on a tear with a perfect lead run. Ritums catching up to him a little bit on the inside clip around the pizza as they transition into outer zone 7. And Ritums looks like he deals with this transition much better, doesn't lose any ground and comes even closer to Mark's doors as they already go for the touch and go and the transition for the last 2 outer zones. Ritums is right on his doors, but a perfect lead run from Mark as well. Really great run from both of them. Could have wished a little bit more proximity from Ritums there at the beginning of the track, but other than that, really good and solid for the 15th place qualifier to pull that off in the final.
Oh yeah, definitely, definitely. I mean, of course, definitely seeing a bit more of a gap starting off at the start right there, but pulling through here on the outside zone 5 and into the touch and go by Ritums, seeing that distance shorten, and then a nice and somewhat aggressive transition, bit of a dive right there on outer zone 7 as well. Definitely not seeing the proximity that we've seen on some of the earlier battles right there, but still keeping it nice and consistent overall from Ritums. And of course, Mark, yet another great lead right there. I mean, what can we say about this man's leads? They are pretty much perfect every single time. So
Yeah.
let's swap them around and let's see if Ritums can give Mark a perfect lead as well. 3, 2, 1, and off the line we go for the last battle. It's going to be Ritums in the lead, initiating with a small flick. Mark giving him a bit of a gap, but then closing that gap right up onto outside zone 3, transitioning it out into outside zone 4. A nice and snappy transition from Ritums, and Mark right on his door right away. Ritums all the way out to outside zone 5, and Mark mimicking that angle and the line into the touch and go, transitioning, and can see that dive, beautiful right there. Mark on the door, a bit less angle, but of course sacrificing a little bit of that angle for the proximity right there, out into the touch and go, transitioning into outside zone 10, and beautiful dive. Great job by Mark right on that door all the way out through outside zone 11. Very wide right there by Ritums, and there we go. The run is over. Mark with a nice 360 to finish it off. And great job to both of our drivers. So yeah, there we go. Great run by Ritums in the lead as well on this one.
Yeah, nobody invalidates their run. We have 2 clean runs in the last final battle. That's what you always like to see. You never like to see somebody crash out in the final battle and then win on the technicality. You always like to see somebody win with a good final battle that is for all the points, for all the marbles.
I mean, everybody loves a good underdog story right here for Ritums, you know, but he's going up against Mark, you know, and that is very tough competition to go up against, you know. Mark going for that perfect event right here, and well, definitely looking like he has a very good shot at it right now.
Yes, let's see what the judges think. They're probably still deliberating who to give this one to. I mean, I definitely wouldn't be the one to send to tell one of these guys that they lost it, but
we have a decision right here. All right, who's gonna be the winner of round 3 right here? Mark versus Ritums in the finals. Let's see what the judges have to say for us.
yeah, slide them left for Mark, and they do.
There we go. 2 decisions go over to Mark, and Mark is going to be winning unanimously right here over Ritums Jakobssons in the finals of round 3 of Drift RTR Riga Street.
Yes, congratulations for Mark for this first place in this event, for this absolutely perfect event. A 97-point qualifying run, into a clean sweep in the tandems for the next day. That is a show and a half, I would say.
And there we go, some celebratory donuts around the semaphore right there, of course, Moist.
Oh yeah.
Controlling that one. So thank you, of course, to him and, of course, to everybody else right here from the technical side, all the judges and everybody else who makes this happen.
And don't forget the congratulations for Ritus Jakobsons for the second place, because even though he just lost the battle, that still doesn't mean anything, because he placed second in the entire race by qualifying 15th. He beat 3 other drivers in the races. He basically had to win every single upset that was coming up against him.
Yeah, only in the top 32 was he the higher qualifier. All the other runs after that, he was the lower qualifier and got all the upsets in the bag to get the second place as well. So great job by him, and of course, great job by all of our drivers. Thank you all very much for joining us, and of course for driving on this one.
And also the last congratulations to Vava for the 3rd place. And also for Armands taking the 4th. That is still pretty high up there. So our results for today is 1st place is Markuss, 2nd place is Ritus Jakobsons, 3rd place is Vava Sezonov, and 4th is Armands Vestmanis. Congratulations to all the drivers who ended up on the podium, and thank you everybody who participated in the race. The more the merrier. Here you can see them up on the podium posing for some last-minute beauty shots for their social media networks and whatnot.
And there we go, getting that angle in there as well. So yeah,
yes,
of course, as we're getting those last pictures here, so thank you, of course, to all of our supporters, all the people participating. Of course, check out all the socials, you know, don't forget to join the Discord as well if you want to participate in the next ones, or just join in on the conversations as well. And don't forget to follow up on that E36 build and the E46 build that are coming up on the YouTube channel as well. Next video coming soon, TM.
Yeah, exactly. And thank you for being active in the chats here as well. We're gonna see you again in the next race, which is in a little bit less than a month's time. I don't exactly remember the date, but you can check that out in the Discord server as well. There's a calendar with all the races. Get yourself in for the next one. Get the cars downloaded, get some practice in. We have 3 practice servers open at all times, so you definitely can find some doors there as well every evening now and then. But yeah, thank you. With you today have been me, Ed, and my brother Red. And we're gonna see you in the Discord and in the practice servers as well, giving you some doors and letting you take some of ours. Thanks for joining. Bye.
Bye.
We've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands Vestmanis. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands Vestmanis. If round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points leader, Armands Vespanis. Round 3 were a pizza, it would be extra spicy. We've got 8 zones to master, 2 touch and goes to nail, and 1 inside clip demanding absolute perfection. Serving up the preview lap, we've got none other than round 2's top qualifier and points